Stanford has had to play catch-up here in Omaha, being down by as many as 8 in Game 1. Tonight they face yesterday's winner, Cal State Fullerton. It's do or die for the Titans. A loss will send them home. A win will force a rematch with Stanford Friday.
Well, it feels like it might be time somebody gives this game a rise. The only one across the play, man, I put it in another state, and that ain't no lie. Back home in Omaha.
It's the 2001 NCAA College World Series from Omaha, Nebraska. And tonight a rematch of Game 6. With top-seeded Cal State Fullerton out of the Big West Conference, getting ready to take on 4th-seeded Stanford. The Titans looking to avenge a 5-2 loss in 10 innings to survive another day. 5 days ago, we started this College World Series with 8 teams, and now the field has been cut in half. And unlike Stanford at 2-0, Cal State Fullerton has no more margin for error in this double elimination format up until the championship game. Titans must win tonight and again Friday to reach Saturday's championship game. A Cardinal win tonight or Friday will put them in position to play for their 3rd national championship. In the bottom half of the draw, 2-0 Miami faces Tennessee tomorrow afternoon, with the Volunteers 1 game away from going home. Nebraska, Tulane, Georgia, and USC all have already been eliminated. This is starting out to be the windiest day of this College World Series, and it may be the first where rain becomes a part of the story, because in about 3 hours or so, there are showers expected to hit here, maybe severe, and depending on the speed of the game, it may be a question whether we can get 9 solid innings in. But at some point, we'll get the 9 innings. The way it plays a part, Buck, is John Smith, the starter for Cal State Fullerton, expected to go for the first time all year on 4 days rest.
Well, that may sound a little strange to most people. 4 days is usually the normal rest period. But this young man that's had some shoulder trouble along the way, and as recent as an hour ago, Coach Horton and his staff were considering not starting him, because the last thing they want to do is get him started, have a long rain delay, because they won't be able to bring him back. Cal State Fullerton was very instrumental part of their success so far, as getting very deep with their starters in Kirk Sarlos and the great pitching performance we got from Merrill last night. But that's not going to necessarily play into their hands.
5 days ago, we were talking about how Stanford, although they were in the championship game last year, was the most surprised team to be here, because they're here with not a single senior on the roster. But the reason they are this deep in this College World Series is their Fab 4 freshmen who have carried them offensively.
Well, the good news about that is what the prospects for the future looks like for Coach Marcus and his club. These freshmen are going to benefit from this experience and be around for at least 2 more years. We know they won't have any problems about grade point average. The bad news is, if something goes wrong here and everything's going great except for the 8-0 start they were behind in that first ball game, you wonder how they're going to react. He said earlier that they can be very good and they can have their troubles if things go bad.
Sam Fuld, one of the freshmen who has carried a big load offensively with a 6 of 8, 5 RBI start so far. And Stanford will have to deal with the guy who has been the best in the field and at the plate for Cal State Fullerton, that being their senior second baseman, David McConaughey, who was all-world yesterday. Defensively, you couldn't have played second base any better. A couple of plays that would be right at home on a major league diamond. And at the plate, his first ever 2 home run game, his second and third homers of this College World Series. So McConaughey, plenty of family in the stands, will again lead off for the Titans as Cal State Fullerton takes on Stanford when we return to the 2001 NCAA College World Series from Omaha.
There's a dream in every club, there's a wish on every ball.
Go Stanford!
And once again, they make their name back home.
ESPN2's presentation of the NCAA College World Series is brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Gatorade, is it in you? And by SportsCenter. Which SportsCenter do you watch?
Welcome back again, Rosenblatt Stadium. Getting set to see the second matchup, maybe not the last matchup of this College World Series between the Titans and the Cardinals. George Horton has Cal State Fullerton here in his 5th year. He also had him here 2 years ago. Titans have won 3 national titles, looking for their first in 6 years. And let's meet the starting lineup tonight for Horton and Cal State Fullerton.
David Bacani, and I was a neighbor down the road to Harold Reynolds in Brea, California.
Robert Giesman from Lemoore, California. Jason Cropsey from Orange, California, and I'm the 5th guy from my high school to play in the College World Series.
Aaron Rifkin, Upland, California. My career aspirations after baseball are to appear on ESPN's The Life.
Brett Kay from Villa Park, California, and my teammates like to call me Walt Flanagan.
My name's Mike Rouse. I'm from San Jose, California. My teammates call me Big Mike and Tanner.
I'm Chris Stringfellow from Vista, California. My teammates call me Schmoo.
Shane Costa, Visalia, California.
Sean Norris, I'm from San Utah, and my teammates call me Danger.
So there's the Titan lineup, which will go to bat against Jeremy Guthrie, the winningest pitcher this year for the Cardinal, making his team high 20th start of the year.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Guthrie from Ashland, Oregon, and I try to pattern a lot of what I do around David Cohn. We have similar pitches and similar in size.
Notice 22-year-old sophomore. He spent 2 years on a Mormon mission to Spain. He began his college career at Brigham Young and is working like John Smith on 4 days rest, but coming off his shortest outing of the year, only an inning and a third against Tulane. He kind of got blooped to death. 8 hits, 5 runs, all earned, and had his first no decision since an early series against the Titans. 90 degrees, probably the most humid day we've had yet, and definitely the windiest, with gusts up to 30, still blowing out to left field. Second time these two meet here, and the 5th meeting overall, and Stanford has kept with recent history by dominating in 2001, winning 2 of 3 at Fullerton back in early February, and extra innings, 5-2 here. David Bacani lighting up the Sports Page USA Today after his 2-home run personal showcase yesterday. George Horton said in the dugout, we just dubbed yesterday the David Bacani Show. He's behind Guthrie here, 0-2.
Well, rightfully so, Dave. He put on some kind of show yesterday. You can't ask for a better all-around performance than David Bacani gave the Cal State Fullerton Titans yesterday. And it's what have you done for me lately? He's going to have to do it again.
We said he's never had a 2-homer game until yesterday, but he loves playing in this game. Outside corner, down on 3 pitches as Ken Eldridge, the home plate umpire, rings him up. And let's look at the Cardinal defense behind Guthrie.
Well, the one thing that'll catch your eye is there's a complete freshman outfield in Brian Hall, Sam Fold, and Carlos Quinton. Keep in mind, though, these guys have done a pretty good job. They come in here hitting .429 combined. Ashford, Quinton, and Hall, the other freshman, 300 better in the postseason. So they certainly held their own. They don't know any better. They don't know they're not supposed to do this.
Left fielder Robert Guzman takes the ball. 18th round pick of the Twins, who has struggled here. Until yesterday, really all the Titans had struggled at the plate. Guzman just 1 of 9. But Buck, they raised their team average in this series from 182 coming into yesterday to 245. You don't see too many 60-point jumps from one game to the next, although it is only the 3rd game they played here.
Well, I know that's got to make Coach Horton feel a lot better. That was a little bit more typical Cal State Fullerton approach yesterday. They pushed the issue on the bases. They got the most out of the base hits and the walks that they got. And once they got ahead, they really pinned their ears back and let it fly.
Looked for a long time like we would see our first shutout in ages in Omaha. Eric Merrill goes 8 innings with 2 unearned runs in eliminating the Tulane Green Wave 11-2.
Looks like it's very early on, obviously, with a very hitting conducive wind conditions again today. Looks like we're seeing a lot more crisper Jeremy Guthrie today than we saw in the first game.
He goes full to Guzman. With the on-deck hitter, the DH, Jason Karopsy. Guthrie pitched the first meeting of the season against the Titans. It was back on February 2nd, and it was his first no decision Friday since that game back in February. Ground ball still weird in its second. Guzman now 1 for 10 in the College World Series. One of the better crowds of the series as far as early innings. The outfield, left center, packed. All the home runs tend to blow.
One of the things the first two hitters in a lineup have to do, especially the first hitter, and David Bacani and Robert Guzman have done this, try to get deep into counts. You see Robert Guzman, we came back to the bench there talking to the hitters about what he's featuring and what type of pitch he hit. The last thing you want to have your first hitter or second hitter do is go up there and have a 1 or 2 pitch at bat. And you don't always have to get a base hit or get on base to accomplish something for your team.
Behind Karopsy 2-0. Guthrie in that first game against Tulane, lasting just an inning and a third, saw the Green Wave take an 8-0 lead. Brief delay here. And it's the all-time record comeback for 9 innings from 8 down to win at 13-11. And Rick Vanderhook, third base coach, take care of that one.
Well, one thing they don't have to worry about, they stopped the game because there's a balloon coming across the field. With this wind, it won't stay on the field very long.
Well, he misses on his first 3 offerings for Karopsy.
We talked about it yesterday a little bit, Dave. You know, one thing about the wind that affects the game too is the balance of pitchers. You know, you get back in your lineup and your windup and you set on that back leg. Last thing you want to do is be blown around. It may not make the difference between throwing a ball and strike, but it might make the difference between throwing a ball down away and throwing a ball over the middle part of the plate, especially with the breaking ball. It really affects the breaking ball more than anything.
Guthrie has an outstanding strikeout to walk ratio. And gets a ground ball here, bobbled by Andy Topham. Mark Marquis calls him the best defensive third baseman in college basketball. In college baseball. It would be a story if it was basketball. Karopsy retired, and it's a 1-2-3 first.
Watch it! Watch it! Here you go! Watch out!
Guthrie gets a strikeout and 2 ground ball outs. And we look at Marquis's starting lineup for the Stanford Cardinals.
Chris O'Reilly, I'm from San Diego, California.
Sam Full from Durham, New Hampshire. My nickname is Dorb.
Brian Garco, Walnut, California.
Carlos Quinton, Chula Vista, California. Johnny Ash from Oakland, California. People call me Bangarang.
Andy Topham, Sacramento, California. Most people call me Topper. My little sisters call me Pickle.
I'm Brian Hall from Carlsbad, New Mexico. In the past 10 years, we've had 11 people drafted out of my high school.
Scott Dragisevich from Westlake Village, California.
Eric Van Zant, and I'm from Bellevue, Washington.
Well, John Smith's going to be pitching for Cal State today. One thing to look for here, great move to first base. We've obviously had a lot of balks called here. He's going to touch 90, 87 and 90. Has gotten by primarily with his fastball. Does feature pretty good changeup and an improving slider. 4.0 student. It'll be interesting to see how the umpires handle his move to first base, even though Stanford hasn't run much this series, Dave.
John Smith going for his 12th win of the year, and let's meet the Titans starter tonight.
My name is John Smith. I'm from Nuevo, California. I'm a senior left-handed pitcher. I'm excited to be out here for my second trip to the College World Series. I throw a fastball, changeup, and slider, and I'm excited. I like our chances.
And for more on John Smith, let's bring in the third member of our crew, Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave, thanks so much. You can imagine how hard it is for college baseball players like John Smith of Fullerton to somehow balance out excellence on the field. And as Buck mentioned, a perfect grade point average in the classroom. He's figured it out pretty well with that 4.0 through 4 years, majoring in business, one of the hardest majors at Cal State Fullerton in their academic programs. John told me before the game the key is discipline. He has a very dedicated schedule to make sure he does not miss any classes, of course, any practice time as well. He won't go out partying late at night or sleep in late in the morning. He's got to be very relegated with the schedule. He also says there could be a connection between his baseball smarts and his intellect in the classroom, and that sometimes he's trying to outthink the hitter. He may have an advantage. Guys, he hasn't taken any shortcuts either when it comes to his minor at Fullerton. We talked about business at the major. His minor is physics.
Wow. Well, he's facing the right team to be thinking along with.
Chris Reardon goes after the first pitch and loops one to Mike Rouse at short. Reardon, the #1 offensive threat for the Cardinal across the board.
Well, defensively for Cal State Fullerton's first guy's going to really catch your eyes, David Bacani. What a day he had yesterday. And not only his range and being able to make the play and glove the play, but I love the way he's able to finish the plays. You got a lot of guys can get to the ball and glove it, but being able to finish, he's got great quickness getting to his feet on the diving plays, and the double plays always a possibility with him in the middle infield.
Now Sam Full, the freshman from New Hampshire, rare East Coast recruit. Last year as a high school senior, his team played only 12 games because of cold weather.
That's what you call recruiting. And great vision by Coach Marcus. You see him play 12 games. Of course, these kids play a lot of summer ball once it warms up. But you think it's tough coming here and scouting for a major league draft. Try scouting a guy on 14 games in New Hampshire and trying to make a decision whether he's worthy of starting in the College World Series next year.
He chops one to first base with Aaron Wilson. Marquis says this is probably the best Stanford recruiting class in a quarter century. Ford is a huge part of that.
Well, we talked a lot about the Cal State Fullerton recruiting class yesterday, considered one of the top 2 or 3 in the country last year. I don't think Coach Marcus and Stanford Cardinal have to take a back seat to anybody. You're looking at 2 clubs that probably had 2 clubs on the field, probably had the 2 best recruiting classes in the country last year.
One of their graybeards, a sophomore, Ryan Garco. They start 2 sophomores with the 4 freshmen, and that one slicing just foul by maybe 18 inches. Garco catching, batting third, hitting .362 on the year, and over the last third of the season, one of their hottest bats. As he just showed, strong to all fields. Doesn't have to pull it to be effective.
You got to be very careful about giving up on any fly ball to right field. That ball, the wind almost blew that ball back fair. Especially with the first baseman and catcher. A lot of balls, foul balls will head up here over the Cal State Fullerton dugout. You don't want to give up on that ball because the wind will blow it back fair.
Both pitchers work 1, 2, 3 first. Garco thrown out by Bacani. A 6th pitch first inning for John Smith.
Who do we appreciate? The Titans. Go, the Titans. Yeah.
I don't think there's a man in here that doesn't think that we're capable of sweeping a College World Series type caliber team, and that's the job at hand. I felt like a couple guys might have dwelled on the past a little bit and let that affect the present and the commitment to that pitch or job at hand defensively or offensively, and we can't do that. It's not going to go perfect for every one of us. There's just no way that that's going to happen. I forgot to share this with you, our old unis. Sleeveless, they're sweet, aren't they? No swoosh. This was our old uni. And of course on me, it would stick out a lot farther.
Heavy Dodger influence on those old uniforms.
I think that's the wool version too. Those are real comfortable. I hate to show my age, but I worn a few of those. I bet David hadn't.
A very successful pilgrimage for both these two teams. That's why they're still alive. Only half the field of 8 still playing. Tennessee and Miami tomorrow. Guthrie starts the second inning with the ball to Aaron Rifkin, the cleanup hitting first baseman. 4th round pick of the Yankees. And another Titan hitter who has struggled here. 2 of 12. One of the 2 was a home run. 16 home runs, 60 RBIs, leads in homers, second in runs batted in.
Dave, I don't think it's any secret why some of the left-handed hitters have struggled here at the College World Series, and most of the leading hitters here have been right-handed hitters. A lot of it has to do with the wind conditions. You see Aaron Rifkin here. You see why the Yankees look like him so much by the way he stands at all. He's trying to hook the ball.
Scott Dragicevic charges on the check swing ground ball. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot that the hitters had given to them by the fielders today, because both these defenses, one reason they're here, they play very solid ball.
Well, both these teams are built around pitching and defense, and they're capable of pushing the issue a little bit on the base pass, a lot more with Cal State Fullerton. And one of the things the wind does, you're going to see, we got some of the hops we saw yesterday. They've done a great job with the field, but it's not so much that it makes the field hard itself. It just blows the top layer of the soil off that they watered this field 10 or 15 minutes ago, and it's already almost dried out because the wind moves it around, and really once you get off that topsoil and get down below that, the field gets a lot warmer, a lot harder, I should say.
Guthrie, Brett Kay, and another weak ground ball. Andy Topham throws number 2. Kay, who missed 17 games earlier this year with a broken wrist, played 2 games with the broken wrist before he had it surgically repaired and fought his way back. So we've yet to see our first base runner, the shortstop Mike Rouse, batting with 2 outs in the second. Guthrie's gotten 4 ground ball outs and a strikeout.
I think we're in that stage, Dave, of the College World Series where a lot of the anxiety is gone from the players, and they're able to settle, especially with the pitchers. They're able to settle into a little bit more of a comfort zone of doing the things that got them here. And I think that as the World Series, College World Series moves on, you're seeing crisper and crisper play.
Guthrie against Tulane worked the 1-2-3 first, and then the roof caved in on him. 5-run second inning, and he didn't get through the second. 3 more in the third. Tulane couldn't hang on to it. 8-0 advantage. Mike Rouse with an opposite field bid as it slices foul. Well struck, but 0-2. Rouse, a sophomore from San Jose. 5th round pick. Transferred from San Jose State after the '99 season. It's been a redshirt year, but has not gotten untracked yet in Omaha. 1 for 13 and 0.77 average. Down here 0-2. Finally they get one in the air with a wind behind it, but Sands pulls it back warning track. And Guthrie works an 8-pitch second inning. Quentin, another one of the freshmen, Carlos Quentin from Chula Vista, leading off the Cardinal half of the second inning. On his very first at bat with the Cardinal, he signaled what he was all about. He had a home run at Fresno State, and he has hit 10 more since then. Comes in here at 343, but only 1 out of 9 in Omaha.
He's having his struggles so far. He was the one guy, not the one guy, but one of the guys with Cal, and I was watching them in batting practice the very first day that caught my eye. Take a look at the body on this young man. Carlos has got a bright future ahead of him. I know Coach Marcus is pretty excited, like we talked about earlier, of having these 3 freshmen back for at least 2 more years.
3 sports star in high school, 3 times All-State in baseball. Played on state championship teams in basketball. Out of the University of San Diego High School in Chula Vista, one of the top recruits in the nation last year. Another big part of the Stanford recruiting haul. A chopper toward the hole and through. First base runner for either team. Just the second base hit of the series for Carlos Quentin.
Carlos Quentin not really a threat to steal, but right off the bat, John Smith possessing one of the better moves of a left-handed pitcher in college baseball. He's already had 2 balks called on him here. Kind of puts him in a tough spot. Something that they've basically been doing all year is now being looked at a little differently. It doesn't make the umpires wrong, but at the same time, it does create a little different mindset for pitchers, especially left-handed pitchers who depend so much on deception to pick guys off.
We have seen an all-time series record 11 balks called. But a couple of reasons why I think we may not see it come into play as much tonight as Johnny Ash, the DH, gets his first look at John Smith, freshman out of Oakland. Having a terrific series so far. One reason is that Smith has been tough for everybody to run on. He gave up only 6 steals and 15 tries all year. Last year's junior only 2 stolen bases against him all season, and picked off a ton over those 2 years. 8 runners he's picked off this year. The other reason is Stanford has not been running on anybody. They've only attempted 1 stolen base in the series.
Well, it certainly hasn't been their forte so far. There's 2 ways to look at it. It's basically a guessing game with John Smith. He's not quick to the plate once he starts his motion. He's probably in the 1.7 seconds mode, which lends to a stolen base. You just got to guess right because he's not reading the runner. He's
what more can David Bacani do?
Well, look at this. This is just the top of the 11th now for bottom of the 11th for Bacani. He's picked up right where he left off. Watch the first step quickness right out of the chute. That's where middle infielders are made. They have to have that first step quickness, and like we talked about earlier in the game, the ability to finish the play. It's one thing to dive and be able to glove it, but be able to get up quickly to a throwing position and make an accurate throw to second base. Outstanding.
So Ash aboard on the fielder's choice. Andy Topham, the third baseman. Really cooled off. He lifted his average 20-30 points in the month leading up to Omaha, but here is 0 for 9. Junior from Sacramento. Who said his coach says no third baseman in the country has played better defense this year.
Dave, you notice the Stanford runners are all making their first break back to first base. Where you get in trouble with a left-hander with a great move is that your eyes go to the plate. I know sitting in the dugout when I have a left-hand pitcher with a great move, I'm watching the runner's eyes. If his eyes look into the plate, I know that he thinks he has the move down. Coach Marcus is taking this out of the equation and making them make their first step back to the first base.
Topham lifting this one to center, drifting back. For out number 2.
So if you're watching the head of a runner at first base, if his head on a swivel looks into the plate to see what the hitter's going to do with a pitch, you know that he's not staying with the left-handed pitcher long enough. You have a chance to pick him off. Now, they also can lull you to sleep here. The left-handed pitcher thinking that every time you pick your leg up, they're going back to first base. At some point tonight, I look for Coach Marcus and Stanford to give it a shot, especially if they can lull Cal State to sleep thinking they're not going to attempt anything. Because like I said, he's not very quick to the plate. The stolen base is still an opportunity. You just have to guess right.
Their only attempt here in Omaha was unsuccessful. 79 steals for the year, so they are capable. Ryan Hall, the left fielder. Getting a start against left-handed pitcher. Is Johnny Ash. Gets himself in a rundown. The shortstop, Rouse. Ending Ash's hopes of eluding one of those tags that he knew was going to come his way. So it turns into a 1-2-3 inning, although Quentin gets the first hit of the game.
Well, take a look right here. Watch 2 things. See, he brings his foot behind the rubber. This is where his foot hit. That's just a pure deception by the runner. He lulled him to sleep. He's coming back here. Now he thinks he's not coming over. Guess what? He is.
And it's the 9th kickoff of the season for John Smith.
you know, like I'm talking about coming from this angle here, we'll be able to see if he's bringing his foot behind the rubber or not. And then also I want to be able to draw if he's 45 degree, if he steps over that 45 degree. Well, he started back just because that's what he was always doing, and then he started to come back off the base thinking he's going to the plate. He's routine back, and then there's where he got him right there. I think what he's trying to do more than anything is keep him from throwing over, period. They think by going back every time, he's not even going to bother throwing over. But he is. It's okay, we can
Okay. Scoreless into the third, and Stanford knew coming in that John Smith had one of the best pickoff moves in the country. It still didn't help Johnny Ash avoid becoming the ninth victim.
It's very frustrating for Mark O'Brien, the first base coach. Keep in mind, this is a 45-degree angle. Watch his front foot, very close to it. And what they're trying to do basically by going back to the bag when he makes his first movement is trying to keep him from throwing over at all. He makes his initial move back. Now he thinks he's going to the plate, and that's where he's lost. You basically have to tell your runners, and the runner has to have a mindset that I'm not going to go anywhere, and I'm not going to look into the plate until I see the ball leave the pitcher's hand traveling towards home plate. That may seem awful simple, but when you have a guy with that good a move, you cannot trust what you're seeing from the chest down. You've got to trust what you're seeing coming out of his hand.
Now Ash, one of the freshmen, that played into it. Chris Stringfellow takes ball outside.
Well, that's certainly part of it. But that's a good enough move, whether it's a senior, junior, or sophomore, or freshman. You're going to have that. The thing that would bother me, and I'm sure it bothers Coach Horton, I'm sure they've grilled and talked to their guys. Not Coach Horton, but Coach Marcus have talked to their guys a lot about it. And they played each other before, so it shouldn't catch anybody by surprise. You hate to see that happen at this stage in the season because they're certainly aware of it.
Baseball here, good runner.
We all know how Coach Marcus and Coach Horton prepare their two teams for this type of game.
1-1 to Stringfellow, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Stringfellow, all Big West last year as a sophomore from Vista, California. And a slow start this year. Didn't really crack the lineup as a regular until March. Sun breaking through, mostly overcast today, and again extremely blustery, even by the standards of this series. The wind has been blowing every day out to left. Check swing, appealed at first. Paul Juliet, the umpire, rings him up, and Stringfellow, the second strikeout victim of Guthrie.
There's a lot of things that teams do. Watching Stanford throw the ball directly back to the pitcher, not throw the ball around the infield after a strikeout. Something you don't see at the major league level. I've really taken a lot of joy watching these teams take infield here today. They take it with just reckless abandon. They get so much out of that. It's something you don't see at the major league level anymore is teams taking infield. There's probably only 1 or 2 teams in major leagues now that take infield on a regular basis.
You know, and fans used to really look forward to that if they came early.
And I tell you, the fans are getting quite a kick out of watching these teams take infield. I haven't seen an infield practice here that wasn't enjoyable to watch. And that's really what it's looked at because the players get enough work in pregame to get done what they're doing in infield. But it's almost like, you know, a pregame ritual that all these clubs go through. And you can't argue with the success that all these programs have had.
Shane Costa, left-handed hitter, getting a start, where Louis L'Amour, right-handed hitter, has been doing big damage. That'll be out of play. L'Amour is the leading hitter here for the Titans. 5 of 8, 625, a home run, 3 RBIs. But Costa getting the start at right field tonight. Usman moving from right to left. L'Amour and Ducati have been the big run producers for the Titans here. Costa with credentials of his own. with a 373 average. He is their only freshman starter tonight. Contrast that to the 4 in the Cardinal lineup.
Sometimes when you're platooning players, it's kind of unusual at the college level. But one thing you're trying to do when you're at some of the great programs that we're seeing here is you're trying to create a situation where all young men, when they come to the ballpark, they have a chance to be in the lineup. Certainly Louis Lamport is a good hitter and he's capable of hitting right-handed pitching. But by doing that, he's creating, Coach Horton and Coach Marcus are creating a little bit more of a team feel. If everyone's going to get a chance to make a contribution. And sometimes that does as much for a team as anything else. And platooning does allow for a lot of players to get involved, about a 25-man roster, get involved and feeling good about what they're doing.
4-2 to Costa. 37th round pick. Devil Rays out of high school in Visalia, California. Get over! Deep grounder. Guthrie and Eric Van Zandt, the first baseman, kind of fighting over that one. And there goes as the first base hit of the night for the Titans.
Well, the mistake made here is by the first baseman. Pitcher Jeremy's supposed to break right towards that ball. First baseman's got to go to the bag, so either he'll have somebody to give it to, or he would continue there. He won't have the contact made. He calls it here. He's got it. First baseman, if he has to come into the grass area to get that ball, he's got to go straight to the bag because he's not going to get many people there.
So Costa with a one-out infield single, the number 9 hitter, third baseman Sean Norris. Runner up here. On the right side, into right field. And runners on the corners for Cal State Fullerton in the third. The way they draw it up.
Well, you got a 92-mile-an-hour fastball being delivered here. You've got a choice of covering your second baseman or your shortstop. They choose to cover with the second baseman, and it costs them. Really what you'd like to see a second baseman do in that manner there in that situation with that play is to slide towards the hitter instead of sliding towards second base. That way you're cutting down your distance to second base, but then you're not giving up your position.
So Jeremy Guthrie continues to get a lot of ground balls after striking out Stringfellow to start this third inning. Ground balls, but nothing to show for it. Back to Bacani, who always seems to hit a run-producing opportunity. Did he ever come through yesterday? Chopper, maybe 2. Piece of fish. Trying to get Bacani and hold the Titans scoreless through 3. Nothing across despite 2 back-to-back singles here in the third because of the 6-4-3 double play. Johnny hasn't had very many reasons to lose that smile, but there's one of them.
Tennessee versus Kansas, 1985. Take a look.
I guarantee you, Chris Burke, Harold.
I still have 4 finals to take. Good luck, guys. Thank you. This is ridiculous.
2 pages of notes, what we're allowed here. Making sure everybody knows it's legal.
So you guys have 3 hours from right now. Good luck.
Okay. Okay.
babies. Go to work. Right here. Put number on the board. Win the city.
Nobody had a harder time getting here or concentrating on baseball than the Stanford Cardinal. They had a red eye. They had airport problems with fog in Chicago. An 8-hour bus ride got them here. And oh, by the way, a good portion of the team still had finals to get through.
I still have 4 finals to take, 2 papers.
Good luck, guys.
Leaving. Thank you. This is ridiculous.
2 pages of notes, what we're allowed here, making sure everybody knows it's legal.
So you guys have 3 hours from right now. Good luck.
I bet they passed.
Well, let's put it this. Stanford doesn't have a corner on taking tests and having to do things. But let's put it this way. When they walk in and tell their professor, hey, I've got to go to the College World Series, can you put that test off? They don't really care. You're going to have to get it done. And it's true that way at most universities.
Left fielder Brian Hall.
I have to fight myself, Dave. You look at Coach Marcus and you see Coach Horton and you see all these coaches. You really, instead of calling Coach Horton, you almost feel like calling him Professor Horton, Professor Marcus, because they're basically teaching the game of baseball at their university.
Full professor, head of the baseball department.
Exactly. Head of the baseball theories class.
Brian Hall, another top-notch recruit. Carlsbad, New Mexico, the National High School Coaches Association Player of the Year. After hitting .647 as a senior, the New Mexico Player of the Year. Tucson High School All-America, rips it deep. Left center field, way Stanford with Brian Hall hitting his second home run of the season. Takes a 1-0 lead.
Do today, especially left-handed on right-hand hitters, left-hand pitcher on right-hand hitters. You let these guys get their arms extended and getting the ball up in the air. A fastball out over the plate, full extension, and lofted the ball. And today, that's going to be a home run.
Nothing Stringfella could do about it. 3 rows deep. Left center field bleachers. Now Scott Bergisevich, the old man of the team, junior. Bergisevich comes in .321 out of Westlake, California. Los Angeles. And a ball and a strike. What does that feel like for a freshman? Second college home run. Happens in the cauldron of the College World Series to help your undefeated team try to stay undefeated, reach the championship game for the 2nd year in a row.
Well, it's a heck of a memory.
What just happened there?
Well, you wonder, we talked about it earlier about the wind, how it affects pitchers moving around on the mound. Once you get back to your back leg, sometimes you got a little sway going there and you don't feel comfortable with it. It might make the difference between 2 or 3 inches on the plate.
Can't hit it any harder. Sean Morris, thankfully, had time to get his glove up.
Well, I think that's why they call it the hot corner. It's also why Coach Horton thinks he's one of the best third basemen he's ever had. It's just a matter of quick reaction, defending yourself. So we're talking about the freshmen. With one good thing they have going for them, there's not 1 or 2 freshmen there. There's so many on the Stanford club that after a while they don't know any better. They don't know they're not supposed to be doing this at this level, and they kind of band together and feed off each other.
First baseman Eric Van Zant, another junior, Bellevue, Washington. Doesn't really have the big numbers offensively. But like everybody else hitting right-handed here, even some of the left-handed hitters, the potential to get one out if you hit it just high enough to the right part of the field. He's behind now. No balls and 2 strikes.
Well, Coach Marcus calls him like having another shortstop on the field. He made the move over to first base, and I think you don't realize the importance of a good defensive first baseman until you don't have one. there are many people that handle the ball, the catcher and maybe the pitcher more than the first baseman. You think about over the course of the season how many times the first baseman actually handles the ball. To have an above average first baseman like this certainly means a lot.
Looking ahead 0-2 off the roof, over the roof of the press box. Titans starting 3 seniors today, including John Smith, 4 juniors, 2 sophomores, only 1 freshman. Van Zandt is one of 4 juniors starting today for the Cardinals. So is the on-deck hitter, second baseman Chris O'Riordan. In on a leadoff home run here in the 3rd by Brian Hall. Then a sharp line drive by Dragicevic for the first out. If Stanford wins, they're off until the championship game Saturday afternoon. If Cal State Fullerton wins, they earn a rematch on Friday. Tennessee tomorrow in the same position as the Titans. They must beat Miami. Another game with the Hurricanes next Friday. Into short right for Shane Costa, and he has it for the second out. They're resuming in the bottom half of the draw tomorrow afternoon here on ESPN2 with Tennessee, which is the only unseeded team in the field of 8 this year, but still alive and kicking. 2-0 Miami, hoping to force a final showdown on the Vols Friday for the right to move on to the championship game. If Miami wins, they're in it. Bracket 1, Stanford needing just the win today, or if they have a rematch again with the Titans, Cal State Fullerton has to win this one and again Friday to play for their 4th national championship. 5 College World Series titles all told between these 2 programs. Stanford has been close to some others. Marquis got them back-to-back championships in '87 and '88. Has them in their 3rd straight trip to Omaha. School record, 4th in their last 5 years.
That'll give you a pretty good idea of the job that the NCAA baseball committee did in seeding these teams. If you did it in college basketball, I don't think you'd get 7 of the 8 seeds in here. And, they did a great job of seeding this out.
O'Riordan lined to short his first time. It's the 3rd straight year for the Cardinal, and the 3rd straight year they get to this point still unbeaten. They made it unbeaten last year all the way to the championship and lost to LSU. Format is no longer double elimination once you get to the championship. It is winner take all at that point on Saturday. Richmond brings it down, and that'll do it for the 3rd. But the Cardinal break through. Brian Hall's 2nd collegiate home run.
Full extension, great play to end, and Cal State staying in with pretty good defense.
1-0 Stanford through 3. Well, motoring along so far. See how long it stays. Oh, these games are jinx proof. It's no longer a factor. Not really. Father Flanagan, that's all I know. Is that here? I can say that. Now I know that much.
There's a shot of the statue they erected of Harold Reynolds.
An Omaha landmark, Boys Town, and a statue honoring Father Flanagan.
Is Harold Reynolds in there somewhere? Should be if he's not.
I think Harold's from Oregon. I don't think he ever crossed paths with Father Flanagan here, but at some point the Harold Reynolds honorary commissioner college baseball statue is due to go up. I think maybe part of the improvements to the field next year when they move the fences back and raise them a little bit. The statue's probably in that budget.
Well, if Harold was still playing, they'd have to move these fences back for sure.
360 power alleys expected to go to 370, and the 7-foot fences expected to be raised to 8 feet next year. 408 to center. 332 down both lines. Robert Guzman leading off the fourth with a chop right back to Jeremy Guthrie. And just like that, Guzman 0 for 2 with 2 ground outs.
Go, Jay!
There he is, the mayor slash commissioner. Harold Reynolds on a busman's holiday. He and Mike Patrick get back to work tomorrow at Tennessee, Miami.
Can't stay away.
They wouldn't let him.
He does a great job with this. They love him here.
Jason Karopsi, who grounded to third to end the first. Definitely a familiarity factor now between these two teams. The February 2, 3, and 4 series produced the only win so far this year by the Titans over the Cardinal. Overall, Stanford has won 9 of the last 10, 11 of the last 13 games in Houston. Karopsi chops one to pieces for the second out. Jeremy Guthrie continues with an awful lot of ground balls. Fullerton's only win was a 1-run affair. Then Stanford 9-8 and 3-0, 5-2 in 10 innings. In the first rematch here, this being the second Stanford Titan battle of this College World Series, and if George Wharton best Mark Marquis tonight, will be one more on Friday.
Well, the only win that Cal State had against Stanford this year came as no surprise. It was a direct result of a base hit in the last inning by David Bacani. That doesn't catch anybody here by surprise.
Wharton saying to win a national championship at some point, someone has to do something that they haven't done all year. And to get them this far, one thing that really they haven't seen all year is so much power from Bacani. 3 of his 7 home runs have come here. But some of the guys who have been contributing on a consistent basis all year have not. And Rifkin is one of them. 2 of 13 here. Karopsi now 2 of 13. Rouse 1 of 14. So up and down the lineup, they only have really 2 or 3 guys at any one time swinging any kind of a hot bat at all.
Well, I think with Stanford being in a position with so many young players, knowing they're kind of playing with house money today, not having to win the game, it kind of plays into both teams' favor, and that's why I think we're going to have such a great game here tonight, and already have. Is that Cal State Fullerton, Coach Horton, be the first to tell you they play their best with their backs up against the wall. And with the young players that Stanford's got, they're probably going to play a little better when they've got some margin for error and don't feel like the weight of the world is on their shoulders.
Guthrie, who led the Cardinal staff in wins with 12 starts. This is his 20th innings and strikeouts. The 3rd team All-America, 3rd round pick of the Pirates. So on Friday, you'd wonder how he put together all those numbers, but what we've seen from him here and what the Titans continue to struggle with is what the Cardinal considers the real. Defense again positioned perfectly. O'Rear in front of that ground ball. A 9-pitch inning for Jeremy Guthrie. With 4 innings, he's thrown only 43. And he leads 1-0. it's there. It's Mount Everest. It's because it's there. I can't ignore it. Harold, you actually saw drops? Oh.
What'd you say?
All right. Good, Ed.
All right, back to our three-man booth.
Buck wants to stand. You got to sit down, Buck. We got it.
We got one.
You got to sit, Mr. Manager.
Very sharp.
I like this. I wish I could do the games like this all the time.
I need that. I love that material.
Oh, I bought this in the mall. $19.
One to nothing on the Brian Hall third inning home run. We move to the bottom half of the fourth inning, where we are joined by Harold Reynolds, looking very sharp, however, still subject to a fine for being out of uniform.
Oh, it's the day off. I'm supposed to be watching the game.
Impressions so far.
It's great. You guys finally got a real game. You know, I figured it out.
Wait, he just jinxed us.
You two have been jinxing the whole tournament. 20-run games. This is a real deal.
Nobody hit any home runs till we showed up.
That was very impressive. Great pitching. And the biggest impression to me is how well they're positioning themselves.
Well, Harold, you know, we talked about a little earlier, these teams are so familiar with each other. And you've seen the number of balls that have been hit right at people and guys that have been in position to make great plays. And they're so familiar with each other. A lot of these guys competed against each other in high school, and some of them in junior college, I'm sure. But there's not a whole lot of unknown here. And that's what made it a little surprising when John Smith got a pickoff. You know, the Stanford kids have certainly been made very aware of what's going on there with him.
Center fielder Ford leads off. A fly ball to left. Robert Guzman drifting back. Has to reach back over his head as the wind carries it a good extra 30 feet or so. Ryan Garco got a record home run from the other night.
Oh, great follow through. Watch him stay through this ball. This ball is a long ways out of the ballpark, but the best part was the tail end. The man in the bottle.
If not for the bottle, he would have had himself a souvenir, but you took care of him later.
Sent him a little baseball, said nice catch. A little joke. Gotta have fun with people out here.
Empty water bottle worth nothing. Hangs onto that, misses the home run ball. Garco.
And Ryan took care of him. Took a bottle of water out there, sent him a ball. It was a high moment, I'm sure, for him.
Garco ended the first by grounding to second. Here's his target Sunday night.
You know, Buck, I'm thinking about the point you made about positioning. That's why it's so difficult for guys to hit 400 in the big leagues, because you play so many games against each other, and familiarity is a commonplace.
And the defense changes according to who's pitching, too. You're going to play hitter Randy Johnson pitching as compared to a finesse pitcher. You know, we talked a lot, Dave, about the number of players that have come through the Cal State Fullerton program. You know, Coach Marcus has got a pretty good group of players. Guys like Jack McDowell and Mike Messina, Ben McDonald, Cal Peterson, Jeffrey Hammonds, Dave McCarty, A.J. Hinch. There's been a few that have passed his way that showed up in the big leagues. So these guys have certainly had some pretty illustrious alumni that have played baseball here.
Well, and the alumni follow the games. I got a call the other day from one of my good friends, Gerald Traylor. He played on one of Cal State Fullerton's championship teams, and you know, Titan blood running all the way through it. You know, and they follow it. The alumni are as serious as the kids on the field.
Like you said something interesting the other day as the 1-2 inbound stop by Garco. That is, as a manager, you can watch a player go through his motions, practicing, usually himself on and off the field, and almost know where he came through
ball and A leagues.
Get it back, here, get it back.
You could watch a guy work out and go through a batting practice and have an idea that he came from a program like Stanford, a program like Cal State Fullerton, or a program like just about any of these programs we have here today. And it makes it a lot easier on coaches at the professional level, and it makes it a lot easier on Coach Marcus with the job that the high school coaches and the junior college coaches do it. And I don't know who's doing a better, more sincere job than Little League coaches nowadays. We're all at their mercy. You can really tell a difference about certain kids that come through certain programs.
What about as a player? Teammates, players you played against, did they carry traits of their programs?
Yeah, I think so. Particularly, you see it offensively more than anything else. Like a program like Stanford, guys took a lot of pitches. You would see that. Arizona State, it was grip and rip. You know, every time I saw guys from Arizona State, you knew what they were going to do. So we see a little bit of it. I think the biggest factor, though, is guys that come through college programs that are pretty good programs. They're spoiled from flying and traveling. All of a sudden, they're riding on a bus. It's a character check.
It's changed so much, though, Harold, the minor leagues. It used to be when I was playing, and when you were playing, that the minor leagues, tough ballparks, tough hotels, tough travel bus. I mean, in Arizona, the kids, after they leave A-ball, fly everywhere, Double A and Triple A. And the ballparks now, especially the Single A ballparks, have been upgraded so much over the years that it's really tough for these college coaches to compete in a lot of cases.
John Smith, after Garco stayed alive with foul ball after foul ball, finally hits him.
David.
Looks like he got him with a changeup or something.
Yeah, you know, they keep talking about getting out of the way, have to get out of the way, but, you know, that's kind of picky. There was probably the most blatant case of not making a whole lot of effort to get out of the way, but, you know, you've got a normal approach to hitting, and it's tough for an umpire to take you out of that approach and now say that you can't get first base there. But
well, the key to hitting is waiting as long as you can to recognize a pitch, and sometimes waiting means stand there and getting hit. I think there's certain guys, Dave, that have a reputation of getting hit.
Harold, we were talking about that yesterday. I think that's one of the biggest advantages of the aluminum bat is it allows you to hit the breaking ball better because you can wait so late because your bat's so light. You can allow the ball to get so deep in the zone that it makes you so much better of a breaking ball hitter. You don't have to cheat so much to get to the fastball because you're swinging a 30-ounce bat. And you know, I'd say there's no more than maybe 10 guys in the big leagues that are using a bat lighter than 32 ounces. Most of them 31 ounces, usually the least you see.
1-0 pitches. Oh, right back, Harold. If you had your glove on, you had a shot at it.
Wow, but you know what? Did you see the wind grab that thing? I don't think we'd be able to make a play on that one.
I would have held you out the window.
Yeah. We got a catcher's mask here. That's one thing I want to make sure we got here. We got everything else.
We got everything right there.
You know, they say this weather's supposed to come in here about 9 o'clock. I hope it doesn't. You know, it doesn't figure into your mindset at all as a manager or a head coach because regardless of when this game, if something was to happen with the weather here, would not affect anything about if this place can come back and pick up wherever they left off.
Look at how far the ball came back.
That was about the middle of the line really between the blue and the yellow seats with no wind, and it gets blown all the way back on top of the tarp. Look out. Darryl thought he had a play. It was 50 feet in front.
Make sure the guy with the good hands gets up front. That's why we put you in the middle.
I can't believe that ISO replayed that one. But I was there. I was liking that. I was there.
Yeah.
I'm usually running. I don't understand people trying to catch foul balls. Those things, some of those balls lighten you up over there.
Garco at first, the 26th hit batter in this College World Series. One of many negative records set against pitchers. That one really played well. Walk record, hit batter record. The combined run per game, both teams, total batting average, all 8 teams also on a record pace. And a little bit darker over the last 5-10 minutes or so over Rosenblatt Stadium. Forecasts are for possible severe thunderstorms ahead maybe within the next couple of hours. So the quick pace of this game coming right handy. Smith working much slower with runners.
Yeah, you've lived in those areas where the rain comes in quick.
I'm wondering how much time we're going to have to get our materials out against our booth, this could be a disaster.
We can see who's really working. You know, look at your work area. Look at Buck's work area. I mean, is there anything over here, Mr. Manager? Look at this guy.
He's got it all up. He doesn't need all
You
this.
can have the window dressing, Harold, or you can do your work at the hotel.
Line single up the middle, and Carlos Quentin is 2 for 2. Only 1 of 9 in the first 2 games coming in, so Quentin's bat maybe started to come around, and with 1 out, runners at first and second in the 4th.
Stays right through this changeup. And that's what you got to do with the changeup or off speed, anything. Try to stay up the middle.
Coach Horton
talked
about how much John Smith depends on the fastball. Changeup has been a pitch that they've worked very hard on, and the slider. You get into a situation like this against these good of clubs, you're going to have more than one pitch.
Outfield playing Johnny Ash, the DH. The other way. He sends a shot right back past Smith. Almost undressed him here. Around third, he comes back wisely because that quarterback got in a hurry.
Well, the interesting thing, most shortstops now, watch where Stringfellow fields this ball and throws it back. I thought they had to play it at home. He obviously did not because he's going over a little bit. But watch how the shortstop takes the ball and goes to the inside instead of looking around to the outside towards third base. So if he were to catch the ball off his left shoulder and look towards third to relay it, but he's got the whole play in front of him, so he just cut it off assuming the guy went. That's why he didn't see the runner.
You get a late stop with the third base coach there, Dean Stutz. They picked him up pretty well. A lot of times, once they pass the base coach, they keep going.
So loaded. 1 out of the 4th for Andy Topham. Looking for his first hit of the series, and he picked a good time. Stringfellow's block is way ahead. It's a 2-1 single. Quick to his 23rd.
That's one of the reasons that Stott stopped the runner before, because he knew that his team's swinging bat towards the bottom part of this order. The Stanford lineup has been on fire. Topham comes up with a big knock there. A lot of hits up the middle.
Well, John Smith had a shot at catching. That's how a game of bench. If he puts his glove up here and is able to get to that, you're talking about a double play instead of the score being 3-0. He's in pretty good fielding position here. Just a little bit quicker first reaction there, and he might have had a double play. Instead, he's given up 2 more runs.
Smith worked a 1-2-3 first and second. Thanks to a pickoff in the second. All homer to lead the third. Fly to left by third here in the 4th. This rally started when he hit Darko with a 2-2 pitch. And consecutive singles by Quentin, Ash, and Topham, bringing up ball. Patience by the Cardinal hitters paying off. 8 pitches he threw to Garco, fouling several of those off before the hit batter. Quentin singled on the 6th hit. And a ball on the strike to Hall. So that's one of the hallmarks of the Stanford program is work counts once they get to the higher level.
Yeah, through the years, that's one of the things that you can tell with their club. One guy stands out in my mind, Josh Hoker, saying he used to take a lot of pitches, and it's a tough habit to break when you've taken pitches throughout your career, and all of a sudden you get into pro ball and you find yourself down 0-1.
Two more score for Stanford in the bottom half of the 4th inning. And with Jeremy Guthrie's throw, a 3-0 lead, looks pretty good.
That ball to center is one of those plays where everybody's screaming, I can't believe you didn't send him. But everybody's already made up Ball to center is one of those plays where everybody's screaming, I can't believe you didn't send him. But everybody's already made up their mind ahead of time what's going to happen.
You know, I think when the shortstop turns around, he can still get in the play, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Even if he doesn't stop.
That's what I'm saying. If he takes that throw this way as opposed to like this, he sees more of the field. He comes this way with that throw, he sees third base. You already know where that runner second's at.
Shoulder turn.
Yep. Because now he blocks himself off by being in this position. He can't see behind him. He gets here. He got it.
All right, is the wind just now changing? Starting to blow in, it looks like.
How many ground ball outs, Dave, for Guthrie you got there?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wow. 9 outs on 8 ground balls.
Wow. What about Smith? He's getting a lot of grounders too, right? Oh, he's getting some bullets line. That's
really he's pitching not bad. Okay.
That's all I do.
Why were you getting on me about it?
Playing around.
Somebody will have a dog pile just like that one on Saturday afternoon. Maybe one of these two. The Cardinal with a 3-0 lead behind Jeremy Guthrie, who has 9 outs on ground balls.
Well, Jeremy Guthrie, speaking of piles, if we were using wood bats tonight, we might have a wood pile. He's got almost, I believe, 8 or 9 ground ball outs already. Late slider there, fastball in, another fastball in. Every one of these pitchers are down for the most part. Great late life on the fastball day. Definitely a lot different pitcher we're seeing tonight. There's a ball that just got smothered. It's only one of those highlights that he really wasn't down in the zone on.
Tulane hitters were able to get jammed, but lifted just over the infield. The only hits he's given up here, an infield single to Costa. And the ball where Guthrie and Van Zandt almost collided in the infield grass. And then a single to Sean Norris. That's been it as Brett Kay leads off the fifth.
Well, you know, they talk about changeups and curveballs and sliders and knuckleballs, whatever. Still, the best pitch in baseball is a well-located fastball and strike one. Most pitching coaches will tell you, if you can throw strike one, you can locate a fastball, I can work with you.
This will be the 10th ground ball. Top of it. Perfectly positioned again here. Let's check in down below with Dave Roney.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. I know Jeremy Guthrie's a third-round draft pick of the Pirates, and certainly he's very busy with the College World Series, but he's got a lot more to worry about prior to signing. There's the College World Series here, and his wedding coming up 1 week from today. He and fiancée Jenny Williams are getting married June 20th back home in Portland, Oregon. They have plans to honeymoon in Hawaii, and then plans on signing with the Pirates after he and Jenny come back. So can you imagine that, guys, within 1 week time, winning the College World Series maybe on Saturday, getting married, and going to Hawaii on your honeymoon?
Coach, you saw something today, Dave, I thought was real interesting. You were telling me about Coach Horton.
George Horton knows what that's like. 3 years ago, his oldest daughter, Michelle, scheduled to be married the same weekend that the Titans were in a regional on the road. So how do you think he handled it? They could not move the wedding because the husband was in the Navy. Family could only attend it on a certain day and a certain place, and so he set up a telephone at the altar at the wedding, and he phoned in, giving away his daughter. Literally phoned it in.
Speakerphone idea.
Talking about phone a friend.
So he set his lines on the speakerphone, and the speakerphone is in the wedding pictures. It's in the album. Weird and retiring route. That might be my last official act as a husband and father. Attempts at that.
Yeah, Dave, there's more on this story. It's actually pretty good news if George Horton and Cal State Fullerton lose this game. That's because he can get back home in time tomorrow for his other daughter, one of his 4 daughters, Heather, who is graduating from Esperanza High School tomorrow, 2 o'clock California time in Yorba Linda, California. So, guys, you got to take a very early flight tomorrow, and he'll get there in time. But his daughter told him today, if his team wins, it's okay, Dad, stay. You got to be dedicated to the team.
You just Busy month all the way around. College World Series, high school graduations, finals, weddings.
Well, I think that's the thing that sits in all head coaches and managers and coaches, assistant coaches' crawl. There's the things you miss at home with your families. And it's a constant juggling act to try to keep your priorities in order. Those 9 innings, you feel like there's nothing more important in your life. But I think all these guys realize that there's some other things that they're going to be judged by as much as baseball.
Greenfield shot for 2-0 pitch to high throw, tag in time by Eric Van Zandt at first. And Guthrie does it again. Another 1-2-3 inning with 3 more ground ball outs. 8 straight ground ball outs. A machine like Jeremy Guthrie.
Eric Van Zandt in top of the order, Chris Fullerton.
How's he getting all these grounders?
Seems like every swing's a chop.
Yeah.
They're not trying to loft them.
My point being, if the runner run down the line just reads the first baseman, he can't wait for a first base coach to tell him to slide or not slide. You can see very few guys can do that. As you're running down the line, you're just reading the first baseman. If you see him leave the bag, then that's when you can slide. But you see very few guys that will attempt to do that. It can be done.
See, I learned how to look at the first baseman all the time because I used to pull that bunt with me.
Right.
So it became a habit. When you're running down the line, look at him. You may as well.
Stare him down. The old market, huh? Look at this. Yeah. Vitale. Dick Vitale has a presence here in Omaha. Here's a look at the old market downtown Omaha. I don't know if that's any relation to Dick Vitale. He may have a fruit and vegetable side
I'm telling
business.
you, that's my stand, baby. That's my stand. PT food. Dickie V, he's a piece of work, isn't he? You know, I remember one of the first times I met Dick Vitale. We're playing in Detroit. And he comes down. I've never met the guy. I didn't know who he was. He's yelling at me, Harold, baby, AC Green, baby. You know, because he knew I was from Corvallis, Oregon. AC Green, #1 pick, baby, #1 pick. And I'm like, who is this bald-head guy?
A lot of people's first reaction to Dick Vitale, coincidentally.
Yeah, you spend time with Dick, you can't help but love him. He is. There he is. Oh, no.
One of his many lookalikes. That's a big baseball fan.
Oh, man, he'll break down every team out there.
John Smith sailed through the first 3 innings with the exception of the home run by Hall. And then they got to him for 2 more in the 4th. All started with a 2-2 pitch that hit Ryan Garco with 1 out. Then 3 straight singles, a 2-run Andy Topham single, his first here in Omaha, the big blow of the game. All then a 6-4-3 double play. Dragicevic to lead off the Stanford 5th. First time up. A shot gloved by the third baseman, Sean Norris. And again, if the Cardinals hang on to this, they have Saturday's championship game.
And I don't think anybody would be more surprised than Mark Marcus. He was saying this is a rebuilding year. They're playing all those young players. And to play like they played here, he's got to be stunned and happily pleased.
At the beginning of the year, as Smith for the second time has problems getting through his delivery. Beginning of the year, Marcus said we may be a 500 team this year. Well, they're 50-16 as of tonight.
I'm sure there are quite a few coaches in the Pac-10 going, yeah, right. You know, really not necessarily believing that. History will tell you, going in the season, that many underclassmen usually bites you.
He got the right underclassmen, though. All over the country. 4 freshmen who were his top run producers coming into tonight, combined hitting .429. Dragicevic to Rouse, opposite number of shortstop.
I thought it was interesting talking with Coach about his recruiting process. We look at the numbers there, the distribution, no seniors. And he was talking about, you know, I can't just go into any household and talk to any kid. I mean, one, they got the grade problem, but two, they also have most of the kids that you're going to get are going to probably more than likely sign a pro contract. Those are the kids they're going after. It's a difficult process. You got to select the right one because of the grades. It shortens the opportunity for them. If a kid signs late in June, decides to go to the draft, they lose it. They can't go get another 4-point student.
Hop up off the bat of Eric Van Zant. And 3 could get it. It'll be the Stringfellow catch in center for out number 2. And Marcus said 90% of the prospects who have enough talent to play for Stanford eliminate themselves because they don't have the grades to get in the role.
And most people go in and take a look at how they throw or run or hit. First thing he has to look at before he wastes his time is a transcript. But he's not the only college coach faced with that problem. Just about all these guys, there's a lot more to recruiting, just going out and finding the best player. That's probably the easiest part for them is actually judging the talent.
Rick Jones at Tulane, he had one of the best lines. What was it, 3 Ps? What were those?
Got to pass, play, and pay.
Yes.
Because full scholarship is a thing of the past in college baseball.
Not in that order either. Play, he said, was last.
Yeah. 25 years ago, we had 25 players all on full scholarships. Title IX has had a major effect. Probably more on men's baseball than any sport, although there are a lot of sports that no longer exist that have been chopped over the years.
There are some sports that have started that would not have started before Title IX.
On the women's side.
Yes.
Right. Will Reardon here last year when he was a sophomore. He's their only returnee with any considerable experience to get him back here this year. Everybody else pretty much in the off his fists. McCarty handles his 27th chance of this College World Series without an error. Flawless in the field, almost flawless at the plate. The senior Titan, second baseman. It's Marty Earnhardt. That's a Marty Earnhardt stat there. On it.
Oh, that was funny. Marty Earnhardt.
Well, you can see it coming in now.
27 in a row.
Where do you see it at?
It's coming. Well, look that way. It's kind of coming in from our left. There it is.
"27 chances. That's pretty impressive.
All access. It is.
I think every single home run I hit in the College World Series has been a change-up.
Hey, John Hunter from ESPN.com. Chris Farrow from NCAA Productions. How you doing?
Finish. David Bacati scheduled to hit third here in the 6th inning after a day and a game that he will never forget. Here's an all-access look.
I think every single home run I hit in the College World Series has been a change-up.
Hey, John Hunter from ESPN.com. Chris Farrow from NCAA Productions. How you doing? I got your guy. Here he is.
Woo! There you go, dude. You're welcome. Let me get you too.
Can't find her car. Everything's normal.
Where's your all-access camera?
I don't have it. They said they were gonna give me another one, but I think we lost, so they took it away from me.
You might be able to tell kids love him. He loves kids. He's a child development major.
He's a great kid. He lives very near my house in California. Spent some time with him. He's really special. He's one of those guys that's a great college baseball player, and he's going to get a chance to play pro ball. But for the college game, He's fabulous. Obviously, we're seeing that. But I mean that because he's short in stature, gets a chance to play, and that's what the college game was made for, giving everybody an opportunity, and he's shown that he can play at the next level.
Shane Costa, the only freshman starting for the Titans in this lineup. Ball 2-0. He had an infield single. His first time up. This is the first time in 3 College World Series games that Stanford scored first. You have to come from behind. And the first time in 4 games that the Titans did not score first.
Well, in an elimination game, you definitely want to get out of the box fast. You know, get out of the gates ahead of the other club. Cal State feeling a little bit more pressure.
Well, you start pressing a lot more, and you start thinking about, okay, I got X number of innings left before our season's over. It crosses these young men's minds. They need something positive to start happening for them.
Particularly with a veteran club like Cal State Fullerton, because the seniors start thinking, this is it. Come on, guys, pull it together. We won't get to play anymore. It affects them more so than anybody else on the field.
Some of the freshmen from Stanford, they're oblivious to it. They don't realize what's at stake here. Man, I tell you, even though he's given up 3 runs, John Smith's given his club a chance to win. A left-handed pitcher with this wind blowing out to the right.
A ball on a backhand dive will in on his knees and gets it.
You know, I said this the other day, and Buck, I'm going to ask you about it. He reminds me of a young Chuck Knobloch. He's got great range and throw the ball. His actions remind me of Chuck. I know Chuck had some corner problems, but before that, he's a big-time all-star second baseman.
Well, the thing I love about this, not only does he glove the ball, but to finish the play. We talked about it earlier. So many. That's what separates those infielders. He's able to make that dive because he knows he can finish the play from different arm angles. To play the middle infield, Errol, and third base, you got to be able to throw from different arm angles and also different body positions. It's not always just your body in the play and the speed of the runner makes you change your body angle and makes you change your arm angle.
Number 9 hitter Sean Morris, who has the only other Titan hit besides Costa's infield hit.
Well, that's the thing that just defense very seldom goes into slumps. You know, you're sitting here. He doesn't make that play. Now Cal State Fullerton's got a man on first, nobody out. Trying to rally back. Instead, they've got the first out there and a momentum swing right back to Stanford to start the inning off.
Well, another point, too, Dave, is that we talked about this before. When the pitchers are throwing strikes, the umpire's better, and the players are going to be better behind them. We've got better games. The last 3 or 4 games out here, because the pitchers have been around the plate, everybody's in the game.
Low, a ball and 2 strikes. You think we've seen the end of the 19-12s and the 21-13s?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Tennessee, the way they've been swinging the bats, there's no telling what they're going to do. It's been interesting. Also, we're getting to that point also where Jeremy Guthrie didn't pitch a whole lot, and neither did Wyatt Allen in his first outing. That's why Tennessee came back with him very strong. Everybody else's staff has been used up pretty good.
Ball, strike 3, third strikeout for Guthrie. And as Bacardi makes his way to the plate, Tiger Woods would be real happy about this score. Became the first golfer ever to own all 4 majors at the same time, trying to make it 5 straight in the 101st U.S. Open Golf Championship from Southern Hills in Tulsa. With 2 periods of coverage, both tomorrow and Friday, you don't have to miss a stroke. 8 p.m. both Thursday and Friday nights, a 3-hour re-air of the day's best action.
That's right, Tiger did go to Stanford.
I bet they show every time he takes a sip of his water bottle, much less every shot he takes. Over the course of the U.S. Open. Wales Stanford alum, David Bacardi family, which enjoyed yesterday so thoroughly. Ball and a strike. So far has not followed up on it. He led the game with a strikeout, looked at strike 3, and then a 6-4-3 double play, ending their threat in the 3rd. He's going to miss this stadium. He has 20 career home runs. 4 of them came here. And you think of the small percentage of the total number of games in his career.
Yeah, he's performed on the stage, and that's something else you recognize in great players if they can step up to the moment.
Yeah, that's a lot more fastball than I remember Guthrie having. Last pitch at 95 miles an hour. Why do you think Harold, a guy has an outing like he does first time out, stuff's a little bit, a lot less than he is tonight. Boy, he's really stepped up here tonight for Stanford.
Well, nerves and being able to relax is a big, big key. You know, if anybody can handle it, it's Jeremy Guthrie. This is a kid who went to Spain for 2 years, didn't know Spanish, came back fluent in Spanish. I mean, that's a pretty tough task.
He never picked up a baseball over those 2 years. BYU transferred into pitch, and Bacani fished for it. Darko throws it out to complete the third consecutive 1, 2, 3 inning. 10 in a row set down by Guthrie, who continues to hit shutout.
He's dominating.
I see something different with Bacani today that I didn't see yesterday. He's
impressive.
Well, he's a little full of himself today.
Oh, yeah.
And he's had some publicity, and he's had, you see him slam his helmet down the first inning over here at first. So there's another little side to him. I don't see him running on off the field like he was yesterday.
Yeah.
I see a little different look. He's gotten a little gay yesterday.
What's going on with an umpire out right field?
Probably getting a weather update from the groundskeeper, I would think. Like
Roy Starr has taken a shutout into the 6th. Wyatt Allen. That's good for you right there, Mr. Barnett.
There's Merrill, Brian Walker from Miami. Very good. Any more water?
This guy's got good shit.
Who, Guthrie?
We gonna show that? Okay.
What'd you do today, Harold?
Just went down to the old market. Hung out down there for a minute. This kid, the center fielder for Stanford, good looking player.
Reminds me of Dave DeLucci.
Sam Fuld will lead off the 6th inning for Stanford. In the first meeting between these two here back on Sunday, he had the decisive blow. 10th inning, a 2-run triple.
He's a good-looking player. I've seen him come into the College World Series. Got a quick bat, good strong arm. Defensively, I love his range. And Buck, who do you say reminds you of in the big leagues?
A little bit of Dave DeLucci, guy I had with Arizona, played at Ole Miss. Kind of tough for me to talk about an Ole Miss guy being a graduate of Mississippi State, but I'll throw it out there. He's another one of those freshmen that have played such a big role in Stanford's success here so far. Anybody know the Cal State Fullerton Titans and Coach Horton? This game's far from being over.
Well, the other thing that we haven't touched on, I know, is that it's one thing to be a young team, it's another thing to be young and talented. And they've got some tremendous talent.
You got your chance between experience and average talent and above average talent and not much experience. Which are you going to pick every time?
I'm taking the experience. I mean, the talent, no doubt.
So much hitting until the last few games. This is the 4th game in a row here that a starter's taken a shutout into the 6th. Wyatt Allen did it for Tennessee against USC. Eric Merrill, the Titans against Tulane yesterday. Brian Walker from Miami, their game against USC. Jeremy Guthrie's done it with a 2-hitter as we play in the bottom of the 6th.
Sam, let's go, boy.
Brett Kay with the signal. John Smith hits the corner, 2-1.
Boy, really, the difference in this game right there. 2-0 pitch, Folds taking all the way. Stanford making the pitcher Smith work. And Guthrie just mowing through the Cal State Fullerton lineup as they swing the line first and second pitcher.
Fuller family made it all the way from New Hampshire. 2-2.
There's something you don't see very often, Harold, is a left-handed pitcher throwing a changeup to a left-handed hitter. That kind of gives you an idea of the respect they have for Full here. That used to be a real no-no for a left-hand pitcher or a right-hand pitcher to throw to a like-side hitter.
Yeah, it's just a little easier to pick up.
Tried to hit the outside corner. 3-2.
I've been impressed, Buck, with the understanding of the game the players have and how they attack and exploit situations.
There's some great coaching going on around the country. You know, I think you can attribute a lot of that to the high school coaching that guys are good.
Popped up shallow right. County backpedaling to the first down. Bill Blustery.
See that stand right there after this inning? That's
Catcher number 12, Ryan Garko.
Give you guys a nice little pat on the back so you enjoy the rest of the game.
You see Brett Kay throwing some chalk on his fingers here, the catcher for Cal State Fullerton. Twilight like this, it gets a lot tougher for a pitcher to see.
And particularly the infielders, too.
You see right here, sometimes catchers, you see catchers will tape their fingers just so there's no, and he's doing it as much for the second base or shortstop now, like you said, as he is for the pitcher.
Well, that's amazing. There's a lot of, and it might just be for Smith, there's a lot of pitchers that cannot see the signs.
I'm just getting ready to say there's a lot of egotistical pitchers that don't want to wear glasses on the mound. God forbid. You can't see. There's nothing worse for a catcher than to get crossed up and get hit in the mask with a pitch because the pitcher can't see.
One pitch lofted deep left center. Screen foul back. Out of here. Way over the center field wall and Ryan Garko. As his 7th home run of the year, his 4th run batted in at this College World Series, and scores his 2nd run of this game.
I know that ball caught in the jet stream, but he hit that pretty good anyway. He had a pretty good swing on that ball caught.
85-mile-an-hour fastball out over the plate, and we talked about it all night long. The thing you got to do is keep these guys from getting their arms extended. You got to command the inner half of the plate, and he did, and he paid the price. That ball was well hit. A little down, a little in, but a pitch that he can get extended on.
Couldn't tell the difference between his jog and his sprint. That's a catcher for you.
No, that's a Stanford Cardinal. That's the way they run the bases after home run. You don't see them self-adulating there at home plate. That's what Coach Marcus teaches.
Right center this time, not as well hit. Stringfellow has
what?
You thought that ball was out of here?
I thought it had a chance. Okay, I'm sorry.
The thing is, if you go on sound,
it's my day off. You're right. If you go on sound, you're done. Forget it.
Chad Cordero is loosening in the Titan bullpen. You mentioned that John Smith, for the first time all year, is working on 4 days rest tonight. He's had a mysterious tired arm, shoulder problem his first 2 years. In fact, they had to shut him down for the second half of both seasons. Questionable arm resilience throughout his career. And so as he works in the 6th, after going Friday night, we knew coming in after throwing 97 pitches against Nebraska. And, much deeper, as they would have to get bullpen aid for him. Chance handled by Bacati. But the Cardinal get another run. Ron Smith surrenders his 2nd home run tonight. And the Cardinals' 7th of the season. And through 6, 4-0 Stanford, playing for a spot in the championship.
We can do it on Springfield if you want, because he's up earlier. Well, guys, it's been a pleasure.
Oh, you're going to miss these critical last 3 innings.
I'll stay for the 7th, and I'm out.
9 outs.
One more time through the lineup.
They're playing like they know it's going to rain at 9 o'clock.
Oh, well, I'm glad for that.
Isn't it amazing?
Only 7:15. Man. No, but I earlier said that the jinx is no factor. No, this event is jinx proof.
I'll hang for this half.
The jinx only works if they ever go back to wood bats.
Going to movies.
Got a date?
No. Going to hang out.
tag team.
I'll bring us back. Welcome back to Omaha.
Oh, let's do it. Harold Holloway.
Welcome back to Omaha. We headed to the top of the 7th inning, 4-0 Stanford. But we have seen some tremendous defense throughout the College World Series. Here's a little look. Tulane Canizero, the shortstop, tremendous play. Jake Gautreau, the third baseman, and Anthony Lunetta going back from Southern Cal. Here's Norris, the third baseman, Cal State Fullerton, and David McConty from Cal State Fullerton with the double play. And then to bring back a home run in a tight ball game, Charlton Jemerson from the University of Miami. Some kind of defense. But nothing maybe, Dave, as impressive as this young man has fielded 28 chances without an error in the College World Series.
All kind. Routine. He's had to go to his left, to his right, to his knees. Full out dive, and he's handled them all.
Good look at his parents right there in the middle.
David and Ellen McConty and his grandmother Connie. Here, Robert Guzman's taking a ball as the Titans are down to their last 9 outs.
Buck, when did you start shrinking the game as a manager in a situation that Cal State Fullerton's in?
Right now. Last 9 outs. When I got below double-digit outs, I'm trying to figure out a way to get 9 outs in a baseball game. Working your bullpen according to that. You get down to single-digit outs, you got a whole different way you look at the ball game.
And what about on the Stanford side? What's Marcus thinking?
That's what he's thinking. He's trying to figure out a way to get down there. He's looking in his bullpen. He can, at some point, one pitcher down there that he feels like is his best pitcher down there. Now he's got to make a decision of how many innings he's willing to pitch him in this situation. Keep in mind now, if Stanford wins this ball game, they don't have to play again until Saturday. So he can really go after this game, knowing full well he can win the ball game. He can pick whoever he wants to pitch on Saturday.
Well, after his shortest outing of the year, Jeremy Guthrie has really turned it around tonight.
Let's go 2-8.
4 strikeouts, 2 hits, 1 infield single. Way back in the 3rd inning. That one just high. And he issues his first walk. Let's check in with Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. Weather doesn't look so good right now. It's ominous. Jesse Cuevas is the head groundskeeper here. He's tracking the radar out of the clubhouse area in left field. And they're saying it's going to hit about a 100-mile storm system, 100 miles wide, within the next hour or so. Keep in mind, this is not an official game. It'll be suspended and resumed. Those are the college rules. It happened to Stanford back in '87 against Georgia. Had to resume a game the next day because of rain.
Great, Dave. Thanks, man. That's real positive.
1 hour.
I'm killing you, Dave.
All right, start the stopwatch now. Karopsi takes the ball.
Now back to strategy again, Buck. I want to ask you a question. Are you having your players take a pitch here in this situation, or what are you doing? What's your approach?
I think they are. I think they're going to take a pitch here. I don't think you can see Cal State completely go away from their game of pushing the envelope a little bit, but you know, in a spot where they're going to have to make a dent right here. You got your leadoff hitter on. Definitely showing a little bit that he might be human tonight. You're in a spot in your order that you like to be in.
Does the weather come into factor in your mind?
No, not when you're thinking about, not when you know that this game is going to be picked up where it's left off regardless. It's not normal where if you play 5 innings, 4.5 innings if you're the home team, that the game's going to be decided. They're going to play 9 innings regardless. So you approach it like a 9-inning ball game.
What about sitting your pitchers around for a period of time? When do you decide he's too hot, he's too cold, take out, whatever, when you might bring somebody back?
I think every player is different. Nobody knows their players better than the Cal State Fullerton and Stanford coaches. So I basically say that they know their players better than we do. And there's some guys that bring back. I know a lot of minor league teams put a time limit. As soon as the game's stopped because of a rain delay, they put a clock on them. Say anytime after 30 minutes you don't pitch them. Anytime after 45 minutes you don't pitch them. And that's one way they stay healthy. But pitchers are at a risk when they stay around for quite a while. The trainers will have them in there heated up.
Okay. Now my last question for Buck here, Dave. Now you're Mark Marquis and you see your pitcher go to a 2-1 count after walking a guy. When do you start recognizing that he starts to lose what he has? What are some of the things a manager sees?
Well, he knows Guthrie real well. You know, whether it might be a stride or arm angle, and a lot of times the catcher's an extension of the head coach in there. He'll save you some trips and keep you from doing that. They know what each pitching coach should know what a guy does. Mark Connor last year in Arizona knew what Randy Johnson did that got him out of sync. And it's obvious that Guthrie a little bit is out of sync, but a lot of times emotionally and mentally will throw you out of sync as much as anything.
Well, action in the bullpen. J.D. Wilcox, their save leader with 6. Best ERA in the team, 2.12, 5-0. Well tested.
Most time the opposition will tell you when a guy's not pitching well. They swing his bat.
It's true. 75 is his second straight walk.
Now, how much of it, like an umpire, sometimes they change their zone. It looks like they might be tightening the zone on you. What do you say in that case? Do you yell at the ump? You talk to him? What do you do?
Unfortunately, I have done that a few times. Probably more than I care to admit.
Real effective.
Yeah, well, no, it's not. But it makes me feel better. That's the whole idea.
Brett Kay in the on-deck circle.
Well, you
opportunity time for Aaron Rifkin.
Hey, you got your 4-hole hitter up. Couldn't ask for a better situation right here.
Tops on the team with 16 home runs, 2 ground ball outs, 1 to short, 1 to second tonight. And a visit from the pitching coach Tom Tunis. As Wilcox is now joined the bullpen by Jeff Brooks.
Now, when you see him call the whole team, the whole infield in, what do you think this conversation is all about?
Harold, that's a real good question. What do you think it's about? Because I'm wondering why the outfilders aren't coming in here. Well, but you're talking probably about how you're going to pitch the guy. You're just trying to, basically, you're trying to save, you're trying to change just the whole atmosphere a little bit. Everybody step back, take a little deep breath. He's pitched a heck of a baseball game here. I think he's also trying to give his bullpens a chance to get loose here in case they don't like the way he pitches to his next hitter.
Well, ever wonder how your favorite athletes occupy their free time during off days? Here's your chance to find out. The Life, an all-access pass to athletes' lives off the field. This week, you can check out The Life of Tennessee Titan quarterback Steve McNair and Texas Ranger catcher Yvonne Pudge Rodriguez. 10:30 Eastern Saturday morning. Harold, they're loaded up for you.
I got some of that. I was over there relaxing before I came over here to check this out. It's kind of hard to eat popcorn and talk.
They're loading up too. Less than an hour away. Well, fans a little restless because they saw that long conference finally broken up by Ken Eldridge, the home plate umpire, and then Brian Garco had one last word to get in before Rifkin could finally stand in. Aaron Rifkin just 2 for 14. Well, counting outs, knowing the situation, factoring in, but you think also Marquis would love to give Guthrie every opportunity to work through this.
Well, he certainly got a little margin for that, which obviously Cal State Fullerton doesn't.
That's where that big home run that Garco hit gave it the extension where that a grand slam doesn't beat you.
Wilcox and Brooks have both been outstanding.
And they're getting ready in a hurry.
Maybe double play ball there. Hit it quite hard enough. Reardon had only 1 play, so Guzman advancing to third. Karopsi is on to second base, and Brett Kay now with both of those runners in scoring position and only 1 out.
Fullerton, the difference I see in the club today as opposed to the other games, they just have not hit with runners in scoring position. They've had some opportunities, but they haven't swung at good pitches.
I think Guthrie's had a lot to do with that. There's nothing that'll make a club look flatter offensively than a well-pitched baseball game. You know, I remember writers would come in after games and, geez, what's wrong with your club? They look pretty flat today. I said, well, we were facing Kurt Schilling and he was pitching pretty well.
Chopper to play. In time by Garco. The turn on Guzman.
of surprised to see Van Zandt go home on that play right there with a 4-0 lead, but it turns out to be a huge play to cut down that run. Did that catch you off guard a little bit?
Yeah, usually you're gonna give up the run for an out here. I'll tell you what, it's pretty impressive the way catcher Ryan Garko shuts down the plate here. Puts himself in a little bit of a precarious situation there. You don't like to see catchers point that knee any way except straight down the line here. He had it laterally there and put yourself in some jeopardy of getting hurt there. You'd like to take that toe and point it right down the third baseline. That way any type of contact, the knees push back. The lateral blows are where you get the serious injuries to catchers in the infield.
Now 2 outs. Dropsy third, K first, Mike Rouse 0 for 2. Titans thought the bats finally woke up yesterday. Today they're 3, 4, and 5 hitters.
How many times are they going to let them run out to the run? It's incredible to me that they let them go back and forth that much.
5 hitters, 0 for 8. Walk all ground balls in the infield. So Guthrie has just mowed down Dropsy, Rifkin, and Kay, the heart of the Titan lineup. They only allowed base runners in 2 innings. Dropsy home with the first run. Third, an RBI double by Mike Rouse, and the Titans are on the board.
That's a big 2-out knock. That's what Cal State needed. They needed a 2-out base hit there to get some momentum moving their way. The right fielder for Stanford there took a big chance, Carlos Quinn. He catches this ball with his glove. The ball's hit too hard to score from first base on, even though there's 2 outs. That's a real chance he played there. He's very fortunate that ball didn't bound away and the run scored. That's a ball that you can catch with your glove and still hold the runner at third.
Yeah, barehand play right there was not necessary.
No, it wasn't.
But he pulled it off.
He did, and Kay is at third. Rouse is at second, and the tying run will come to the plate for Stringfellow. 0 for 2 today, being lifted by pinch hitter Matt Belafonte from Ukiah, California. Belafonte hitting for Stringfellow, the center fielder. Belafonte is a .311 hitter. He has 3 home runs, 20 RBIs. Cal State Fullerton. The way the game is gone, got to be in the back of their mind. This may be, who knows, the last, best, only chance to really break through and get back in this game.
Well, with Wilcox sitting down there and some other pretty good relievers, you don't like your chances. You can't take advantage of some of these opportunities with possibly tying Guthrie.
Well, what a performance by Guthrie. Pitching in great situations, not giving the hitters much to hit. To wiggle out so far, only giving up 1 run in this inning the way it started is pretty doggone good.
Yeah, they thought that Friday performance was really a mirage, not at all indicative of his year, and he's proven it was today. Only member of the Stanford rotation that has a postseason win this year. 9-42 here, a weak wave by Belafonte. So Guthrie allowed to stay in and work out of his jam. They do get to him for a run with the RBI double by Rouse. So they end the shutout, but he still has a 3-hitter. We move to the bottom of the 7th. Stanford leads by 3.
How many pitches you got on Guthrie? How many pitches on Guthrie? Is that it? That's just the top of the 7th.
84. He's off. Enjoyed it. Hey, if I don't see you tomorrow, no, not if Stanford wins.
Can't drop the F-bomb on it, though. All right, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's good. All right.
Stanford wins tomorrow. We don't see out, hopefully down the line, but tonight in Paris. Okay. All right.
I'm headed out sometime soon.
Yep, new pitcher. It's 4-1 moving to the bottom of the 7th. John Smith is done. He goes 6 innings, allows the runs, all 4 on 6 hits, and he gets away to top reliever on the Cal State Fullerton squad, Chad Cordero.
California. I compare myself to Pedro Martinez because we both aren't afraid to pitch to anybody.
Numbers like that he shouldn't be. 189 earned run average, 14 of the team's 18 total saves, and an opposing batting average of 194.
Yeah, 90 to 94. He's got 2 arm slides. He's got standard 3/4. He'll drop down a little bit. Good slider and change. All pleasant pitches.
Matt Belfonte stays in. Moves Guzman from left to center to replace Stringfellow. Andy Topham. With what really shapes up as the biggest swing of the night for the Cardinal. It never trailed since Ryan Hall led the 3rd of the home run. And hit it. Second hit batter by Cal State Fullerton pitching. Garco hit by Smith in the 4th.
He certainly didn't. I think you see the reaction of the hitter. I think you see it nipped his shoulder, the elbow pad. It sticks out a little bit. I think the immediate reaction that the hitter gave sold it to the umpire. There's not much way an umpire can purely tell that that ball's nicked him there without reading the reaction of the hitter.
The pad on the elbow, maybe the sound helps make it.
Yeah.
Ryan Hall. And a homer in the 3rd, just his 2nd of his very young college career. Set the tone for the Cardinals. John Smith did not walk a batter. The 1-hit batter. He also did not strike out anybody. Stanford virtually shutting down their own running game here in Omaha. With 1 attempted stolen base was unsuccessful over the course of this College World Series. Top of the threat, though. He's 11 or 12 for the year. This is with a breaking ball. Ball and a strike as we check in with Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave. Andy Topham's parents, Ralph and Janet, are here nervously watching. He just got hit by the pitch, so it's nice to see that. Another base hit and get on base a moment ago. Janet, last year a homer, 4 RBIs for Andy in the College World Series, but of course they lost in the championship game. How much more special would it be to see them win this year?
Oh, it'd be great. It'd be great.
Beyond description, right?
Yes.
Last year, a left fielder, starting 31 of the last 32 games, Ralph. How about this year he moves to third base, and Mark Marcus called him maybe the best third baseman Stanford's ever had?
I think it's great. I plays third base real well. He's like to be shortstop, but wherever they need him, he's happy to be and produce for the team.
Janet, growing up in Sacramento, always a big Stanford baseball fan. Was that always the goal?
No, not really. He just knew he wanted to play, and he could play wherever that he could find a spot that he could play. So.
Enjoy the rest of the game. Good luck.
Thank you.
They had some pretty decent third baseman. Steve Buechele comes to mind.
Yeah, he was a very good defensive third baseman.
He said, in his mind, no question, the best college game this year.
We've seen some pretty good ones here in the college World Series. I was very impressed with Jake Goto at third base.
Most that time on the move by Cordero. With the superior move. The left-hander, now they got to read the right-handed Chad Cordero. And here comes the Hall. 1-2 with a runner going. And right to Mike Ross. Again, but we have to really pat both coaching staffs on the back for the positioning defensively. So many atom balls we've seen in it.
No, that ball was a jam shot. Certainly not hit very firmly. But that ball's up the middle if you're playing over in the hole. And, a lot of times, too, infielders will change their mindset and their positioning just a step or so, which makes a difference depending on what pitch is going to be thrown there. You know, if he's going away, you're going to slide a little bit towards there. If he's going in or throwing something soft, a change up or a curveball, you're going to be a little bit more susceptible to play in the pull side.
Dragicevic hit a line shot to Norris. That he played well and then grounded out to short his other time up. Runs this one to right field. Shane Costa also played well. So the hit batter doesn't result in the threat by the Cardinal, and through 7 full, Stanford still one over the Titans of Cal State Fullerton.
Cal State Fullerton as we head to the top of the 8th inning. With Shane Costa, Sean Williams. The order.
Coolness in the air, a little different.
I know. I'm trying to figure out why the wind hasn't turned the flags around the other way.
Right? We're right back over there.
It's nasty looking over there. Yep.
I think we're going to get a
inning and a half. That's all we need. No.
I think we're going to get.
That doesn't look good.
We're going to get about the 8th inning. Bottom of the 8th.
Oh, please. First ball swinging. That's what we need.
You asked me if they were taking a pitch. I said, well, unfortunately, probably.
Brooke got the wide-angled lens for today, right?
Switch.
The bottom line is how many runs you put up there, whether it comes from 1 or 2 guys or the entire lineup, and hopefully it'll come from somebody tonight. Mike, it's like you're trying to lift it instead of just threw it and let them.
What was that?
Brooke got the wide-angled lens for today, right?
Switch.
The bottom line is how many runs you put up there, whether it comes from 1 or 2 guys or the entire lineup, and hopefully it'll come from somebody tonight. Mike, it's like you're trying to lift it instead of just threw it and let the bat lift the ball with backspin. I was hoping they'd play their second string guys against us tonight. Guess they want to win.
Yeah, they got the starters, and they definitely want to win.
Well, he's got a great approach. I've been very impressed with Coach Horton. He's certainly very serious between the lines, but he realizes in the whole scheme of things where this ranks. Right now, he probably wouldn't buy into that thought, but this is a guy that had the speakerphone for his vow, for his giving away his daughter. My gosh. That wouldn't go over too good at home, would it?
No, it would not. Threatening weather. Within about 40-45 minutes, according to the most recent forecast we were given. Shane Costa leads off the Titan 8th. He has one of the 3 hits from Linfield chopper that Guthrie and Van Zant put in the field. Costa had 2-0. Titans down to the last 6 outs. Costa, Norris, the number 9 hitter, and then McConaughey here again. 2-1. Are you surprised that Guthrie's out for another?
No, I'm not. They haven't done anything to dictate that they've solved him or his stuff is abating.
However, a sharp lead single is centered by Costa. Leo, his dad, leading the cheers. Jeff Brooks continues to loosen for Stanford in their bullpen.
I think the thing you look for with Guthrie too is Cal State Fullerton able to lift the ball and get some elevation on the ball. Just about everything he's done tonight has resulted in a ground ball. Even that ball was hit. That's probably the firmest ball he's had hit off of him tonight, other than the ball that was hit real firmly off the right field wall. I'm not sure if Coach Marcus, he's got a great option down there in the bullpen, though. That's the difference. A lot of guys don't have the option that he has in Wilcox.
Well, he's got several. He's got Brooks here, who has been mostly a starter. Wilcox.
Good job. Big time, my boy.
He's going to make the move to Brooks. So Guthrie pitches to the first batter in the 8th. Costa places in with a single. It is just the 4th hit he's surrendered all day. And it is the type of pitching performance that you have to have all the way to the Saturday championship game. And in that game, if you're going to win a national title.
I think that's one of the real strengths that Stanford had coming in here, was their pitching staff was pretty deep. When you get in that winner's bracket, it's even better.
So Guthrie leads Brooks a 4-1 lead in the 8th.
It's the kid that came in and did the great job in that comeback win, right?
That's it. In fact, the numbers he had were
how many pitches did he end up with?
88.
88? Not much at all.
Brooks 1 1/3, 1 hit in the series. 2 saves. Saved both their wins.
Stanford. On to you. Go Stanford.
Jeremy Guthrie leads a 4-1 advantage for Brooks, and without the work of Guthrie, 88 pitches. Very good control. Only a couple walks, 4 hits, only a couple really good solid swings. He gives way now. Jeff Brooks is the reason that Stanford is still unbeaten in this series above anybody else, because the situation he inherited in the 9th inning of their very first game against Tulane, almost impossible to get out of as easily as he did. If you go back to Friday, a run was in to make it 13-11. The tying runs were in scoring position for the Green Wave with no outs, and he came in and got a ground ball and 2 strikeouts to preserve that win. On only 12 pitches, he saved their win against Cal State Fullerton in 10 innings. So he's thrown an inning and a third and has saved both the Cardinal victories. And he faces Sean Norris here with Costa, the last batter to face Jeremy Guthrie aboard at first base. Brooks mostly a starter. This is his 22nd appearance and only his 5th in relief.
Well, I think Stanford's building a little bit on feeling like with the job that Brooks did in that first game, mentally, emotionally, Stanford Cardinals feel pretty good about their chances. We got to see that firsthand. Hey, what a job he did coming in. Especially, that game was such an offensive game, and it didn't seem like anybody could get anybody out. And Brooks came in and pitched like guy who wants to close the ball game should.
Rick Jones, the Tulane coach, said, I assumed we were going to tie it up, and I was just worried about getting that winning run in scoring position. All of a sudden, we didn't have any more runs.
Brooks certainly didn't assume it. He's got his work cut out for him here. Stanford's not going to go down without a battle. Or Cal State, I mean. They've come too far not to put Stanford on the spot here.
Two balls and a strike to Norris, who has one of the Titans' 4 hits today. The series back in February, Norris had a chance to deliver. He hit in the second game, the bottom of the ninth, with the bases loaded, into a 3-6-1 game-ending double play. Tough way to end a 9-8 loss. And now 3 balls and a strike to him. Bacati 0 for 3 tonight, but 2 homers yesterday on deck.
Oh, you know, there's some thought here to possibly making. You got your 9-hole hitter here. You got the tying run on deck. There's some thought given to taking here, trying to get the tying run to the plate. Every guy looks at it a little bit differently.
He gets a call, strike 2 to run the count 4.
Now another question comes about here. Now you got a 3-2 count here. You start the runner at first base. Shane Costa runs pretty well. You got to ask yourself, do you feel comfortable with Norris putting the ball in play if it's a strike?
Today has not gotten it out of the infield, but yesterday, boy, did he have 3 hits and a walk, a single, a 3-run home run, and a 2-run home run. First 2-homer day ever for the senior. 5 RBIs in Cal State Fullerton's 11-2 elimination of Tulane.
Well, this is a huge at-bat for him and the Cal State Fullerton Titans. They need to try to set the table for the 2-3-4 hitter. You got to feel pretty comfortable about having David up in this situation. I think David also knows he can't hit a 3-run homer here. He's just trying to set the table for his teammates behind him. That's an indication of the type of knowledge of the game this young man has. Any way he can get on base and try to bring that tying run to the plate here in the 8th inning.
Robert Guzman on deck has only 3 homers for the year. Number 3 hitter Karopsi only 1. Got to get to the cleanup hitter Rifkin, who has 16. Although we've seen over and over again, you know, you get the right pitch, everybody's a home run threat.
You know, Sean Norris hit that ball pretty well to right center field there. The wind's not blowing from right to left. We're probably talking about a 4-3 ball game here. I think the wind hurt that. Okay, Brooks doesn't look like a pitcher. 17 of his 19 appearances this year has been as a starter. He doesn't seem like he's having any difficulty making the transition to relief pitching here in the postseason.
Began his career at USC. Shoulder troubles that 6 and 3rd innings as a Trojan. He transferred last postseason. He saved 3 of the Cardinals' 8 wins, including Nebraska, that was in the Super Regional, and here in the College World Series, a save against Louisiana Lafayette. So he has been here before, here in Omaha and here in this type of situation. Beverly Hills High School was a career in somebody's front office. That's if he doesn't get a career on the field. He may do that. 6'4", 200-pound junior. Way outside for Garco to go to his 1-2 to the count.
Bacani went after some balls out of the strike zone previous at bats. He tried to see if he was biting there, but he wasn't. You're trying to cover that pitch out over the plate like he is right now because he's behind in the count, slider away, slider away. There's such a lure for the pitcher here to try to come back inside here. You think you'd be able to come back on the inner half here, but if you don't get it in far enough, the way this wind's going, you got a 4-3 ball game.
Bacani barely stays alive. Never know, this may be his last at-bat as a Titan. Think back on all he's meant to over his 4-year career. Fans have loved him. Played every inning like it was going to be his last, and now he's pretty much down to his last.
Don't think he's not aware of it either.
In the only win this year for Cal State Fullerton over Stanford, he had the game-winning RBI in the ninth, 2 out, bases loaded, a single to cap a 3-run round. So he's been here before too.
There's a pitch we've talked about. He got away from him so much. He tried to come back in there on him there. He's just trying to stay short to the ball right here. He's not trying to lead too much. He's just trying to figure out a way to get on that hill out there so he can bring that time run up to the plate with the meat of their order behind him. Well, it's the Wade box theory. The more pitches you can see per at bat and per game, better percentages are in your favor to get hits. The more pitches you see, the more repertoire you see of a pitcher, the better off you are.
You see the bunch. He's fouled 4 back with a 1-2 count. Ellen and David.
Well, you got to be 100% sure in a situation like that before you make it. I understand the secondary lead, reading the ball in the dirt and trying to get into scoring position here. He thinks that ball's going to probably bound away. He had a great break there. But the catcher for the Cardinals, Ryan Garco, did a great job of squaring up to the ball and put it in front. Here you see the tag applied. Comes out easily. Key to that play there is Garco blocking the ball and staying square to it where it comes out directly in front of the plate instead of a glancing blow.
3-2 to Bacani. As the Titans now are down to their last 4 outs. There's nobody aboard. Garco turning into the key defensive plays. That's got a hook foul.
That's why you got to be so careful about coming in there. Connie showed that he can handle that ball in there. I think he's got a pretty good feel for the way that they're pitching him now. He's seen so many pitches. He doesn't allow him to expand the strike zone here. It's going to be tough to keep him from hitting the ball firmly here.
He's seen 10. 11th pitch of the at-bat coming. Brooks on 3-2 comes inside as Bacani reaches for the first time tonight.
I'll tell you what, that was some at bat by David Bacani. It's too bad. Otherwise would have had the time. Here's the first ball. Fastball down the middle. Fastball trying to go away, but up in the middle. Slider down and away. Another slider out of the plate. Off the plate. Fastball there. Trying to come in there. Fouls it off. Another fastball trying to go away in that count. Slider down and away. Trying to go in. Finishes down. Fastball in. Hits it. Foul. Breaking ball in. Great at bat by Bacani. That's the type of thing you'll see from a senior in this situation.
Robert Guzman worked to walk last time against Jeremy Guthrie. And then as he tried to score, Garco turned in his first big defensive play by blocking the plate on a bounce to the first baseman Van Zandt, and Guzman tagged out at the plate. They have gotten nothing from 2, 3, 4, or 5.
I think if Stanford holds on to win this game, you're going to be able to. It's one thing to be able to throw ground balls as a pitcher. It's another thing to have your infield play the way they play behind Guthrie and now Brooks. Van Zandt at first base made a decision to go to the plate there instead of most guys would just give that run up, decided to go to the plate there, had confidence that Garco could shut down the plate on them. They played very well defensively tonight.
Brooks has it and gets out of trouble in the 8th inning. It remains 4-1. The Cardinal 3 outs away from the final.
Yep, it's close.
Way too long an inning. Cursing those foul balls.
These cars coming back over the hill here.
Yeah, they got their light. Well, I guess now they all have lights. But at least we can still see downtown. Direction, Brian. I think that's where it's.
Somewhere down the road, you might say, hey, I remember when.
Remember when Stanford 2 sports star Joe Borchard hit 500 at the College World Series last year, a homer, 4 RBI on his way to being named to the All-Tournament team. In his second appearance here, Borchard made appearances in '99 and 2000 and now plays for the Birmingham Barons, AA affiliate of the Chicago White Sox, where he's hitting .272. He's tied for second in the league with 12 home runs and 43 RBIs. Last night, he was named to the Southern League Western Division All-Star team, so he's off to a good start in his pro career. Had he come back, he would have been a part of yet another trip by the Cardinal, their 3rd consecutive year to make it to Omaha. That had never happened. Their 13th overall, 4th in 5 years. Close now, so close they can taste their birth. The second straight year in the championship here. Van Zandt, O'Riordan pulled in their half in the 8th. Eric Van Zandt sends it to center fielder Guzman. Pitch one out. As Chad Cordero works his second inning in relief of John Smith.
Certainly hadn't hurt the crowd tonight. We got a great crowd right now.
Over 20,000 again tonight. 2,221. O'Riordan Jr. doesn't know what it's like not to end the season in Omaha. He does want to find out what it's like to end it with a dog pile on home plate. That opportunity getting closer. 1-1. O'Riordan is 0 for 3. Hit it sharply twice. Line to the shortstop in the first. And the first baseman Rifkin in the third. Last time up, grounded to second. So he sprayed it around the infield. To his knees, Norris with plenty of time to throw across the Rifkin for out number 2.
Well, we've heard a lot of talk tonight about Topham, third baseman for Stanford. Sean Norris had a good night at third base for Cal State.
See the error-free ball, Buck. Everybody's had a good night in the field, really.
Well, I think we talked about it earlier today. They get to the point where a lot of the anxiety and some of the nervousness is gone now. They're settling into doing the things that it took for them to get to this point. I don't care how many postseason games you've played or pressure games you've played. There's a different level you take yourself to when you're playing in the College World Series on national television.
Freshman Sam Full, who was 6 for 8 with 5 RBIs in the first 2 games, but 0 for 3 tonight. Grounded to first, applied to left, and popped to second. In this entire College World Series, only 1 Stanford error, only 2 by Cal State Fullerton.
And I think that's why they're playing right now. It's one of the reasons. If you catch the baseball and throw strikes, you're going to give yourself a chance to win most of your games.
Behind Full, 3-0. Ryan Garco is in the on-deck circle. He homered his last time. Garco now 5 for 9. 4 RBIs in Omaha. There's a strike, 3-1. And with all these freshmen, don't bet against Stanford returning next year for 4th consecutive. Rifkin backs up a bit on the chopper. He's full to the bag. A 1-2-3 Cardinal 8. And now Bush will try for his 3rd save this year in Omaha. If he gets it, the Cardinal wins Saturday's championship game. Schwabi. highlight for Tennessee, home run by Ryan Case, helping them stay alive. Charlton Jimerson's great defense has helped propel the Miami Hurricanes to 2-0. Play resuming in the bottom half of the draw tomorrow afternoon here on ESPN2. 3 Eastern, Hurricanes against Tennessee again, the only unseeded team in this field of 8. But still very much alive, hoping to force a final showdown on Friday with a chance to move on to the championship game. Bracket 1, Stanford needing just 3 more outs now to move back to the title game Saturday. And the Titans have got to rally, somehow win this one, and again beat Stanford Friday to get into the national championship game. Right now they're thinking Mike Gosling for their Saturday starter. He dueled Kurt Sarlos, asked him pitch for pitch, 7 2/3, gave up just 2 hits, 1 run, struck out 8.
Well, Stanford's in great shape. They've got all their pitchers available. If they can get through this 9th inning here, they're going to be in good shape for Saturday.
3, 4, and 5 hitters, Karopsi, Rifkin, Kay. Karopsi 0 for 2, walked and scored the only run on Mike Rouse's RBI double in the 7th. These hitters are combined 0 for 8.
Well, I think you're going to see him take a strike here. I think he's taken right from the time he left the on-deck circle. They're going to probably take a strike until they get the try and run to the plate.
Here's 1, 2-1. Brooks has really changed roles well. Almost all starts in the regular season. 3 postseason saves. Going for his 4th in the postseason. He fights back to 2-2. Barely out of play. Van Zandt chased it all the way to the target.
Well, I think in short series like this, you try to find a hot hand. And I'm sure Coach Marcus feels like he has in Brooks, and he's going to play that hot hand. It's something he felt coming in because he didn't think he was going to need more than 2 starters. You like Brooks and some things that he could bring to the table, and he's looking for a way to get him into a contributing role. And he certainly seems to have found it here in the postseason.
Here comes to Karopsi. 2-2. Off the roof.
I got a feeling there's going to be a few other things hitting this roof in another 15 or 20 minutes, Dave. How about you?
Yeah, the countdown is definitely on. So you look at the skies and see them threaten a little more gray every minute. If Brooks can get this 3rd save of this series, he ties the record for most saves in a College World Series. Several have 3. Most recently, Michael New of Miami in '99. Another 2-2 to Jason Karopsi, and almost to the same spot. Brooks came in last inning after Shane Costa, the last batter faced by Jeremy Guthrie, the starter, had singled. He got Sean Norris on a fly to right. Costa was cut down trying to steal on a ball in the dirt. Garco gunned him down at second. Walked David Bacati. Got Guzman to bounce back to the mound. Different direction, but yet another foul ball.
Well, he went to the breaking ball there. The thought process, you know, they want to take a shot at a breaking ball here and not have as good a command of that pitch and go take the chance of going 3-2 with the walk around the corner. Last thing you want to do here is walk Jason here to lead off the inning.
Action by Mike Woodnicki and J.D. Wilcox. Wilcox, terrific closer all year. Another one out of play. One note we haven't seen, and I don't know if this ever happened. I assume it hasn't because I think it would have been dug up by now. I don't think any senior 3 team has made it to a championship game. Stanford is 3 outs away from maybe becoming the first.
Well, when we talked to Coach Marcus, he told us that they had senior day. He had 1 senior, though he did fine, and that was the equipment manager.
Come on, man. Hurry.
What a future. Right now, they're worried about the present. 2-2, and Garko couldn't hang on to the foul tip, so he'll have to come with a 10th pitch of the at-bat. This is the way the recent Cal State Fullerton Stanford games have gone. Cardinal winners of 9 of the last 10, 11 of the last 13. 3 out of 4 this year.
This reminds me a lot of the Bacani at bat.
It really does.
I think it does fit. Those last 2 at bats by these 2 young men, Bacani and here again with Jason, they certainly typify the Cal State Fullerton program. Scrappy. They're gonna fight tooth and nail to the last out.
David Bacani walked on the 11th pitch. This will be the 11th pitch of this at bat.
That's just a perfect pitch by Brooks there. We talked earlier. Best pitch in baseball, well-located fastball. Fastball right on the outer half. Catches the outside corner.
In unison. Heads drop in the Titan dugout. Down to Aaron Rifkin and Brett Kay. Rifkin 0 for 3. Hasn't gotten out of the infield. 2 to second baseman O'Riordan. 1 to the shortstop Dragicevic. 3 ground balls. Takes strike 1. Home run leader, 16 on the year. Here, only 2 out of 15. Outside corner, 0-2. It's the widest outside corner I think Ken Eldridge has had.
Yeah, he's had a great game behind the plate. That ball borderline away. He's had a great game behind the plate. You haven't heard much complaining.
Calls him out. 2 strikeouts for Jeff Brooks here in the 9th, and the Titans are down to Brett Kay. They came in tonight needing to win this one, force a Friday game, and win that one to get to a chance for their 4th national championship. And hope has just about evaporated. Kay 0 for 3.
How about the last
also 3 ground balls, 2 to third. Fielder's choice. Wide ball 1.
Well, it's got to be a tough feeling for young men this age trying to take this all in. They worked very hard to get here. What a great year Cal State's had.
1-1. He predicted this back on Friday. All the run scoring, no pitcher seemed to have anything. They were powerless against the aluminum bats in the wind. And he said it can't stay like this. Somebody will finally get their pitchers to show up. And really, both of them did tonight. Both staffs pitched well, but Guthrie and Brooks clearly kind of above, allowing only 4 Titan hits.
Well, Tennessee will have their work cut out for them tomorrow. It'll be dictated by pitching once again.
The right fielder throws got it. The Stanford Cardinals return to the national championship game. Over Cal State Fullerton.
Well, I tell you what, I have a whole different respect for West Coast baseball, going up in the Southeast, getting some time with Coach Horton and Cal State Fullerton, Titans, and Coach Marcus. They get after it. They got a real passion and a love for competing, and they got nothing to be ashamed of. It was a pleasure and honor to watch them compete here.
Yes, it was. This is not how they wanted it to end. The Cardinals, for the 4th time, will play for a national championship. Winners in '87 and '88, losers. The heartbreaker last year this one up in Omaha in a moment. They won with only 6 hits. They got the right 6. I know. Okay.
And Eddie, it is okay for us to comment that this is that Dave and I are out of here.
Yeah, we could say we had a good time. Time of the ball game, 2:34.
Is brought to you by New Edge Clean Shaving Gel. It helps lift dirt and oil every time you shave.
My last flight's 6:20.
They would probably be able to fly in this weather anyway by the time you get there.
Right here.
Look at the blue sky up there now.
He's right here, buddy.
I don't know why I always have this feeling of sadness when somebody gets eliminated. I know that feeling to get eliminated on the last day of a season or in the playoffs. I've been through it.
ESPN2's presentation of the NCAA College World Series is brought to you by New Edge Clean Shaving Gel. It helps lift dirt and oil every time you shave.
Stanford wins it 4-1 with only 6 hits, but 2 of them were home runs. Terrific pitching, and let's send it down to Dave Ryan.
All right, Dave, thanks so much. Happy battery. Jeremy Guthrie pitched a great game. Ryan Garko caught a great game with another big home run tonight for Stanford. How were you able to bounce back? You're outing against Tulane the other day, 32 pitches, and they kind of lit you up. Did you have confidence tonight?
Yeah, you know, we talked, Coach Kunis and I, and just really looked over the game film and some things that I could improve on. And, you know, Tulane did a great job, and I knew that I could come back against this team. And, you know, and if we could pitch well and hit the ball, we were going to be able to win this game.
During batting practice, David Bacani, Fullerton State, said he had a lot of confidence because they have faced you before, and they're thinking dead red, a lot of fastballs, but you kept them off balance. How'd you do that?
I think, you know, we was able to locate early, and that really helped me. And, you know, their team did a great job. We got to a lot of balls that were out. But just luckily we were able to get, you know, a couple of ground balls that really helped us in some big innings.
Great seeing it, and good luck concentrating on the wedding coming up and the draft and all that.
Yeah, just 1 week away for that, 1 week.
All right, Ryan Garko, catcher, another home run for you tonight, and the roll continues. Could this week be any better? First, you catch the ceremonial first pitch from President Bush here, and it just keeps going for you. Is it a dream come true?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it really is a dream come true to come here and play well. You know, me and the president starting it all off, and then be able to swing the bat well. But Jeremy pitched a great game tonight. Mike pitched a great. We're playing real well as a team, so it's a lot of fun.
You came very close last year. You saw LSU break your hearts. How do you bounce back now in the championship game, and your thoughts on getting there and trying to win it this year?
Well, getting back there is exciting. You know, I don't think too many people thought we'd make it back, but we knew that we could, and we just need to go out and play our game like we played all week here in Omaha. Hopefully, get some big hits and get good pitching.
See you Saturday. Enjoy the rest, guys.
Thank you.
Dave.
All right, congratulations to the Cardinal. Another chance at a national championship. Here in bracket 1, Stanford moves on to Saturday's championship game to play for their 3rd national title in their history. Tomorrow afternoon in the bottom half of the draw, 2-0 Miami takes on Tennessee, 3 Eastern, 2 Central here on ESPN2. Mike Patrick and Harold Reynolds, along with Dave Ryan. Hurricanes, 1 win tomorrow or Friday gets them in the championship game against Stanford. For Buck Showalter and Dave Ryan, Dave Barnett, it's been a blast. So long from Omaha, Nebraska. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Wednesday Night Baseball coming up at the top of the hour. But right now, let's check in with ESPN News.